Hello and welcome back to the Mind Over Mic podcast. Thanks so much for joining me on another super fun episode. I do want to plug a couple of quick dates. I have got only 2 shows in December. I'm taking a little mini break for the holidays to focus on myself and some family things and get realigned for the new year. So for now, come check me out this Friday, December the 12th in Johnson City, Tennessee at the Wallace Theater. I'm going to be a part of the lineup on the Travis Stevenson and Friends show with my good buddy and former guest of the show, Mr. Travis Stevenson. That's going to be a lot of fun. The following night on the 13th, we've got our last Don't Tell Tri-City show of the year. And that's also going to be in downtown Johnson City, Tennessee. That's a secret location, so I can't tell you where it's at, but I'd love to see you there for our last show of the year. Come and see me. Today, I am joined by another returning guest on the episode. I was very excited to sit down with my friend and catch up. I always love seeing this guy. We have these silly, goofy, fun, deep, introspective conversations full of all kinds of fun topics. We talk about comedy, we talk about music, we talk about ambition and muse and inspiration, and some bigger, broader ideas about our lives and where we're both at in the chapters of our life. So hopefully you all enjoy this one. Hopefully you all can relate to some things we're talking about, and hopefully you can't relate to some of the things that we're dealing with. But it's exciting to get to sit down with a friend and have a fun conversation. I hope you all enjoy this episode with my good buddy, Silas Bowman. Friend where you're like, that's my funniest friend, but I think only I find him funny.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I don't, and he gets
sitting
mad
right here with him.
Dude, he used to get so mad at me when I started stand-up because he'd be like, "Oh, Mr. Comedian," and I'm like, "No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't think your humor would translate in front of a room of 250 people. I don't think they. What I love about you, they don't see it for some reason." And he's also my one friend, well, one of several friends that's like, he should do stand-up. I would like to see him try it. Yeah. But he won't. He's chicken shit. Because he'll realize that I'm right, and I don't think he can give me that, you know? He's more like, I'm too good to try it. And I'm like, okay, buddy. That's fine.
I tried stand-up once.
Recently?
No, not recently. This was 2 years-ish ago now.
We may have talked about this.
Yeah, probably.
I remember you were talking about trying, but I don't know if I knew you actually did.
Yeah, it was at an open mic do you know what kava is?
Like the chain kava?
No,
it's like a Mediterranean
that would be hilarious if I did that.
Isn't that a kava? See, this is when I need my laptop.
Kava with a C, like C-A-V-A.
Oh, okay.
Kava, K-A-V-A, is like a weird, like, legal opiate tea that people drink, and they have a bar where you can order that and drink it in Boone. Okay. And it's like a place where people hang out and they order this tea that like weird vibe. Yeah, makes you like super chill, and people, I don't know, it's some sort of like opiate adjacent.
Is it like a hookah bar? You ever been in one of those places where like the vibe is weird?
Yeah.
Because it's like degenerate but legal.
It's like if you mixed the vibe of a hookah bar with like a local coffee shop. It's really strange. But they do an open mic night.
That is weird.
And yeah, it was I think I'm kind of in that realm of I'm funny in situational moments, or maybe like long exposure. Like I kind of my humor kind of builds up. I can't just like sit down and like this is the first time you're seeing me. I'm standing on stage and I'm saying stuff that is just it's funny to me. Yes, but it's like it's just ridiculous, and I don't think people get it.
Yes, I think. Well, you are easily one of my funniest friends who's not a comic. Like I include you in that thought of like, if they could figure out how to package that and present it on stage. The truth is that's not always like off stage. I'm not really that funny. I'm, like I have the sharpness or whatever, I guess, and like rebuttals and stuff. But I mean, I'm not just like a goofy guy at all off stage. But then there's others where it's like, yeah, I would definitely put my friend Corey in that category too, of like, maybe the hardest I've ever laughed in my life is with him, just being ridiculous. But to do that to a room of strangers and they get it is weird. And you in particular, I feel like it's not like an acquired taste thing. It's like once someone gets inside your brain and sees how you work, like that's kind of the whole thing with stand up is you get in this person's rhythm or their mindset. But with you, that's like such a character that it's like, it's maybe a task for them. It takes some time.
Yeah. And that's kind of what, like I still write down jokes every now and then. Like I've got, a notes list on my phone. But yeah, I think it's just trying to figure out how the hell do I start my set?
Starting is tough.
Starting is
weird.
What's the first thing that I can say to get them on board with the next, 5-10 minutes that I'm going to put them through?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think for me in particular, it's all like super personal stuff, but starting might be one of the hardest parts for sure. Starting and stopping is pretty rough too.
Yeah, how do you end it? You can't just be like, all right, I'm done.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes when you bomb and, there's also this instinct that I have sometimes of like, I think this is going to be my closer, but then it bombs and I go, well, I don't want to leave on that. No. So my brain starts like scrambling to find something that also might work, even if it doesn't flow great, just like a final clap and get out of here moment. And then if that bombs, now you're like, oh, I can't do like another recovery. I'm already 2 minutes over my time or whatever. Yeah. It happens all the time. Stuff like that, though, I feel like you learn. Like you pick that stuff. I think you or really just about anybody could learn the tricks of. It's like a sport in a way, like there are little cheat codes and like things, devices. Last weekend I worked in Chattanooga with this guy named Dale Jones, and he's like a 30-year comic. Yeah. So I think he's officially the longest career of any comic I've opened for. I would imagine so. Pretty close. But he's been like a road dog comic, like doing the tough rooms and stuff forever, and he's just now getting his very very well-deserved amount of attention. He earned every follower and stuff.
Yeah, he's your grandma's favorite
comedian, right? Yes, this is the guy. And she was so funny. She met him, she came down, and she was like a little schoolgirl. Yeah. It was hilarious. She was all like bottled up, like and then at one point it was like she hadn't really said too much to him and she couldn't contain it anymore. We were standing at his merch table and I was talking to him and she goes, I just love you. And like she just like exploded with it, but he didn't hear her and he was like, what's that? And leaned over and she was like, I just love you. Like she's just like vibe. It was cool. It was cool to see somebody like, like a celebrity to her is weird. Cause she lives here. So it's just not used to
me. He's all over her Facebook. So.
Right. Well, he's no like Adam Savage and she didn't make his coffee or anything, but he's, he's big to her. Anyways, yeah, I did that show, and he has the most like tools in the bag of any comic I've ever seen. Where it's like no matter what happened, he had some way to handle it. Besides the fact that he's just incredibly funny and talented and all that stuff, he knows all of the tricks. It was cool. Yeah. It was cool to see. It's almost like I guess if you're like doing short films, and then you got to like sit on set and watch Scorsese, or like a master work. It's like. I don't know how he's doing it, but I know enough to know it's crazy what he's doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Have you gone to live comedy stuff a lot? Aside from like, I know you've been to a couple of my shows, but like big comedians. Well, you went to Shane that time, right? Or you were trying to go to Shane?
Yeah, that didn't quite pan out.
I forgot about the ending of that story.
Yeah, we definitely missed it. Instead of Shane, we ate Cane's and cheesecake in the parking lot in the rain.
Oh yeah.
And then just drove back home.
Yeah.
So
90-minute drive for that.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah. That was in Knoxville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was some of the worst like city traffic impacted by a live event.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
Insanity.
Yeah.
He broke the city. He literally broke the city of Knoxville. Like the public transportation system was shot. Nobody could get anywhere.
We couldn't park or anything.
No.
So
by the time we got there, the second opener was closing his set. We got there like just in time for Shane, pretty much, and McCusker, which was really cool. But yeah, I mean, like we were bussed from miles away because there were so many people waiting at this one bus stop. It was really crazy. Yeah. And it was pouring rain and everyone's miserable. Yeah, it was weird, but I don't know. I mean, that's also like stadium comedy, which is not my favorite. You know, it's tough to beat like an intimate club. Like that Chattanooga club is great. It's like 250. Nice. And there's a balcony, a small balcony. So it's just like a huge room. It feels huge, but it's also super intimate and packed in there.
I've never really been to many, okay, I don't want to say not many. I've barely been to any comedy shows. Yeah,
just mine.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of like specials, obviously, and like I've been following stand up for a long time. But
who is your favorite comic? I don't know if I know this about you.
It definitely like I don't know if I have like an all time favorite. Yeah. Definitely ones that like I consistently go back to. Like if I'm gonna be on YouTube or whatever, and there's like a clip suggested, right? Pretty much the only ones I'm gonna click on of like longtime comedians is like Norm Macdonald. I was gonna say okay. Like, but Norm Macdonald is definitely one of my favorites because he kind of toes that line of like playing a character, but it's also like really surreal, but he's also very funny and serious. It's like that's kind of my thing. But
and you never really see him drop it. That was like my favorite thing about my favorite story about Norm, and I may have told you this before, but every time I think of Norm, I think about, a couple things like your favorite clips or jokes or whatever. But there's like this thing in the stand-up world, there's stories about stand-ups too. You know what I mean? Like that we all pass down. One of them you'll hear a lot in green rooms about Norm is that if Norm had like a really good set, like he destroyed and had the best set ever, he would go straight to the green room after the show, maybe leave, get in the car, disappear. Nobody would see him. Yeah. But if he bombed, like hard, like walked half the room, silence, he would go and stand by the door and shake everybody's hand on their way out.
That's hilarious.
That's the most Norm fucking thing I've ever heard in my, like, that is exactly the type of person you're talking about, where it's like, he's almost like this masochist in a way of like, the cringe of it is what he got off on. You know what I mean? It's like I can't relate at all. I'm hiding in the green room no matter what. I don't want to talk to anybody. But that, like, the confidence to bomb like that sounds, for people who don't know stand up, it's weird to think like, you could be so confident that you don't do well. Yeah. But he did it all the time, like, and just sat in it. Yeah. Have you ever seen the roast of Bob Saget that they did?
Central? Norm's oh god, he had that book. Yeah, the book of jokes from like the 50s or something ridiculous like that.
My friend Joe Bridges, who's probably listening to this, shout out to Joe, is a very sweet friend of mine. He's a comedian, and he has that book. Yeah, he used to bring it to Blue Ridge, and we would stand in the back and read it before open mics, and it's so funny. Yeah, it's like the driest, dumbest, mid 1900s humor, and it's like doing so bad in the room, but if he just stands there silently for 2 minutes, the applause start. Like, the confidence on that guy.
Everything he does is like, it's funny because it's not funny.
Yes,
essentially, like,
and which makes him laugh.
Yeah, and it being delivered by, like, I feel like a big part of comedy is sometimes it's just the person doing it. Like, it's not even just about delivery. It's just like it's the whole package. It's what you're looking at, subverting the expectation of looking at this, kind of older guy, wearing a suit or whatever, and he's very polished, and then he ends up just telling some, like, either out of nowhere, like, vulgar joke that you're not expecting, that isn't funny, but then it becomes funny because like, I'm not gonna sit here and explain comedy.
No, I think that's a great way to put it, and I think because I'm in it so much, I have like all these convoluted ways of looking at it. Sometimes I think it's actually really helpful to talk to people like you, or even like Haley, who is adjacent, like comedy adjacent. She doesn't go on stage, but she's at shows all the time, and she co-produces Don't Tell for the most part. And so she's seen different styles, and she can spot things that like maybe the average crowd member can't, but she misses a lot that comics focus on. So it gives her this weird perspective where like she's not paying attention to things that would take me out of it. If she's able to like really hone in. I think that stuff's interesting, especially with guys like Norm or like Hedberg you mentioned, because he is so singular that even the casual comedy fan, he stands out to them. Yeah. That's a whole other level. You know what I mean? Like, if I dissect people the way I do, I can find differences between two comics that are pretty similar.
Yeah. But
with Hedberg, it's like, but there is actually a dude who got in a lot of trouble recently in Austin. He went on Kill Tony and basically did, well, I should say, this is not my opinion. It kind of, the clips blew up and stuff because the panel was pretty hard on him about it, that he was just doing Hedberg. His argument is that's just who he is and it's similar and it shouldn't be a problem. And the truth is I don't really know to comment on it.
I mean, it's kind of, that's a tough one because that'd be like somebody doing, observational humor and be like, they're just doing Seinfeld.
Right.
Like it's when it's someone who's that like influential over something, isn't everyone doing them?
Of course.
At the end of the day,
I will say, if you saw this guy, I wish I had my laptop to show you the clip. We'll watch it later.
I'd be like, that guy's doing Mitch.
Yeah. I was like, again, not my opinion, no judgment cast on the dude whatsoever, but certainly the inspiration is there. Yeah. And I think what may be the case is what a lot of young comics do, and I'm guilty of this all the time, is if I can't quite figure out the timing of a joke that I wrote that is mine, I'll accidentally just mimic timing of guys I've love or follow. It's inspiration. It's not, it's derivative, but not theft.
Well, I mean, that's how everything creative is made. Yes. Like you can't make art without influence. It comes from somewhere. And like you're as long as you're not building, like if you're writing a song and you're like, oh, I want the vocals to sound like John Lennon. And I want the drums. I really like Ringo. You're basically just rebuilding the band.
And who was great on guitar was George Harrison. My God,
one of the best, dude. Paul McCartney's really good.
Now that's a voice. Yeah. Now that's a voice. If we could combine those four elements and craft a group, I'd be a super group.
Yeah. I mean, like the instantly. Roaches or something.
The Dung Beatles. Yeah, I'm feeling it, man. The four of those guys. If we could ever get those guys in a room. Magic would ensue, No, it is an interesting conversation too around like flipping it to music because the one that sticks out for me is Greta Van Fleet. Yeah, because I love them.
They got a lot of flack for a while.
of Zeppelin flack, and it's like I love them both, man. Why can't we just be grateful that they both fucking rule? Like, why? There is something in consuming art, and I think part of it is we want to feel like our opinion matters. It doesn't, but we want to feel like that as humans. So we go, oh no, fuck them. They're just doing Zeppelin, and it's like, to your point, aren't a lot of bands doing Zeppelin? And pretty much everyone who came after them is doing them to some level. That's what great art is. Yeah. So it's like now, if there's guys. I'm curious about this. If let's say a new band comes out and you start hearing people going, oh, they sound just like Led Zeppelin. Or would they say they sound just like Greta Van Fleet? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's like, it's going to keep happening. They're one of the greatest fucking bands of all time. Of course, people want to imitate that sound. Yeah. And there's only so many notes,
Yeah, that's the tough thing. Yeah. And like, You'll always be compared to somebody. Yeah, like when I was playing music, you always get compared to someone, and it's interestingly like never who you think it's gonna be. Like, because
it's never who you want it to be.
No, it's not really about who you want. It's just like so unexpected. Because like when you're writing a song, a lot of the time, especially like I don't know, you'll be thinking about you'll write something, and maybe in your mind you're feeling like, oh, this lyric feels very much like this artist. Yeah. And like in your head, you're kind of like, you're not doing it on purpose, but you're like, okay, like where the influence is coming from. Sure. But then for the instrumentation, like you'll have a different influence, and you'll have these like two things in your head that you're like, oh, this sounds like this guy mixed with this guy. And then you play it for someone, or they hear it and they're like, oh man, this sounds like Modest Mouse. And you're like, I never even thought about that. Like,
yeah, stand-up's the same thing where it's like sometimes the guys, like with that Hedberg guy on Kill Tony, where everybody was like, he's doing Hedberg. Everybody's doing a combination. He's just doing, the percentage of Hedberg is a little too high, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if somebody was like, he's like a mix of Hedberg and Rodney Dangerfield. Like nobody minds saying that. Yeah. But if somebody goes, oh, Greta Van Fleet, they're just fucking all Zeppelin. Those guys definitely are influenced by other bands.
You're just not picking up on the other influences. And also what people pick up on is obviously, influenced by their own influences. Yes. Like I could, maybe I listen to one band all the time and I'm listening to another band. I'm like, oh, that sounds just like them, but it's just like, that's just the band,
Yeah. It's just the same instruments.
Yeah. And I feel like I used to get that a lot with playing like in like kind of like a punk thrash band, people always just kind of went to their favorite punk artist or whatever. Like people used to say like, oh dude, you guys sound just like Black Flag. Right. It didn't sound anything like Black Flag. In my opinion. Maybe we did.
Maybe they just wanted you to sound like Black Flag.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, dude, this reminds you of like Nirvana. Like, okay.
They also try to do it with like great bands or currently great things. Like I know a big one in the stand-up world is everyone. It's almost like the fucking Red Scare with being called a Shane Gillis clone because he's so famous. And there, truth is, there are a lot of bros that like adopted this persona of his, and it works. And some of them find a lot of success in just doing that. And I think at times I've maybe even been guilty of, I know like certain things I'll catch myself doing, you know, like Hand Behind the Back is like, he's kind of trademarked that. And that one in particular, I don't know if that's quite where I get it from because other guys like Bargatze does that a lot and I'm probably more influenced by him.
Now, but this is something that I'm not aware. Can you explain Hand Behind the Back? Is that just like a thing, like the way he stands or like
just like a nervous thing? Huh. Like every comic has quirky things like Hedberg, you know, his eyes were closed very famously behind his glasses most of the time. Even if he wasn't wearing glasses, sometimes his eyes would be closed. Certain guys have certain things like Bargatze does Hand Behind the Back and almost like a old general strolls around with like this bravado almost. Dusty does, you know, Dusty Slade does the hat, the glasses. He has these little ticks. Like signature ticks has always been a thing. Yeah. So when you catch yourself doing it, and I kind of physically, like I had a friend one time try to kind of like put me down a little and was a little too direct or a little rude about some similarities he saw between me and Shane. And part of my response to that was like, listen, like Shane and I look somewhat similar physically and in stature and in facial hair. Like we kind of look the same anyways. So if I'm accidentally 3% Shane on stage, it's going to look like more just because of the physical resemblance. I'm definitely influenced by that dude and I love his work, but there's guys who like, you always know it's them because they're also Shane off stage. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, if you talk to me right now, there's not a lot of similarities. No. When I panic on stage, I may do Behind the Back thing or does, you know, this. Oh, yeah. The look. And there's a lot of comics that get caught up in that one. So it's become this almost like Boy Who Cried Wolf of like, you're Shane, you're Shane, you're Shane. Yeah. That's just kind of whoever's popular. You know, like it used to be somebody else. Or like you said, with Seinfeld, he's maybe the most classic one of like, God forbid you write an airline food joke.
Oh my God.
You can't. He literally owns the words airline food. That's kind of wild. And I think,
what's the deal?
Right. You can't do what's the deals. No. You're doing Seinfeld. Gaffigan, you know, like why even try to write a Hot Pocket joke? Like he just owns it. Yeah. You can't touch it. And I think it's a weird world. It's like such a weird boom with comedy right now too. Did you see where Bargatze's opening a theme park?
What? News to me.
He's opening a theme park in Nashville called Nateland.
Wow.
And it's literally like his version of like a Dollywood or like a family friendly attraction theme park.
Is it like similar to Dollywood in the fact where it's like his face is everywhere, cardboard cutouts of him, there's like a Nate museum?
I really don't know. That would shock me just because of kind of who he is and like his humility. And I've never met Nate, but I've worked with a lot of comics that work directly with him. Just, you know, we're not that far from Nashville. So the circles overlap a little. And I know some guys that have had real intimate conversations with him and stuff. And so I feel like I kind of like proxy know his character a little. And word spreads. If you're an asshole, word spreads. And he's not, from what I hear. Anyways, it would shock me to see like, I mean, aside from the name Nateland, I guess, which is pretty indulgent maybe, but
I could see it maybe being in like a self-deprecating way, like maybe not like egotistical, but like kind of making fun of himself a little. But
Nateland also already exists as his like production company is called Nateland, so it's like the name sounds a little dramatic maybe for a theme park, but that's already his like all his podcasts under his network and stuff, and all the shows are Nateland Presents Nateland.
I think it would technically, it probably should have been Nateland Land.
That's true. Like, no, we should pitch that too. Let's get him on the phone. Yeah. We I maybe will omit some names on this story, although I don't think he would care. But anyways, I have a very close friend who's a comic who is doing a show in Nashville at Zany's. And for anyone who doesn't know, Nate Bargatze's one of the most famous comedians in the world, and he works predominantly out of Nashville. He lives there and works at Zany's and records his podcast there and all these things. So a very close friend of mine was doing a show on that stage, and Nate was not on the show. But when he got there, the list inside the green room, you know, all the comics kind of sitting around, at the bottom of the list was Stephen Bargatze, who is Nate's dad, that is a famous magician.
Okay.
And he sometimes opens for Nate on the road and does magic and stuff. And he was closing out this show with some magic stuff.
Yeah.
So my friend saw this and was like, oh my God, that's like, now I realize I'm in a small green room with Nate's dad.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of this thing of like, you know, almost like secondhand celebrity weirdness where it's like, I don't even know the dad, but I know he's his dad. Anyways, there's weirdness, and he said that there's several comics sitting around the room and nobody's really talking. Everybody's kind of nervous. Yeah. And the door swings open and Nate comes in. And that Nate had his fly down on his jeans, okay? Yeah. Like not like you know, not intentional, but like accidentally it was somewhat unzipped. And my friend said that other comics in the room all kind of gave each other a look and a glance of like, we all noticed it, right? But nobody wanted to say anything because it's Nate Bargatze. Yeah. Like, you know, that would be humiliating. So they just kind of let him come in, talk to his dad for a minute, and then he left the room. And that as soon as him and his dad left the room together, as soon as the door shut, all of them were like, you saw it, right? Like, you saw it. And then, like, then my friend was like, then I started thinking, was that a test to see who will be honest with me? Like, if my fly is not, and he's like going through these mental gymnastics. And I was like, I think that's all in your head, man. I think you got weirded out by a celebrity in the room. You and I talked about last time, celebrity meetings and stuff. I think I have probably thought about the Adam Savage one every day.
Really?
Since you told. It's just so funny to me the way that you like played it cool with him, and then he was cool back.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, episode like 6, I think it was, when you were on, we were trying to decide earlier. You have a story about meeting Adam Savage from Mythbusters, which I will say this again. I'm sure I said it at the time. I would know his face.
Yeah.
I don't think I would know his name. He's like that caliber of celebrity for me. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that he would be in our area of the world.
Yeah, just passing through.
Why is he here? I don't think I could have handled it quite as cool as you did.
I think a lot of the confidence came from like, I like Mythbusters, but I'm not like a huge fan.
Right.
So there was also a part of me that like I was unsure if it was him or not. So it wasn't like I wasn't like starstruck. I was like, is that fucking like, it was
trying
more
to
just
deduce,
like shit, like,
or at least like, does this guy know how much he looks like Adam Savage?
Yeah,
that's kind of part of it too. Before you realize it's really him.
Yeah. Still could have been just anybody. I mean,
could have been. There really are those guys. There's a guy locally I've seen at like sporting events and stuff, like high school sports, who is trying very hard to look like one of the Duck Dynasty brothers.
Oh, wow.
To the point where you would almost mistake him, except for the fact that he does not look like that guy. Like, he's trying everything with the outfit, you know?
That's an interesting group to be trying to look like.
Yes.
But I mean, that's in right now, you know?
It's back in.
The whole like Southern look has really made waves.
Southern
in the past.
chic.
Yes, Southern chic.
All it took was Post Malone to go country, and everybody's like,
man.
Whew.
Everybody's going country.
Beyonce,
now. What's Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll.
I'll be honest, I had no idea who he was.
Have you seen his transformations as of late? We were talking about this as a family.
He's transformed again?
He's transformed into a car. He looks so different. This is when I wish I had the laptop. I'll do it on my phone and I'll put it in the video for anybody who's curious. And this is not no judgment. He seems to be healthier, and that's great.
Yeah.
You know, happy for him there. But he shaved his facial hair recently, and the internet kind of went crazy about it and the difference in how he now looks. I'll admit, it's a little jarring. Like that's the same.
Oh my God.
That's a different guy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a combination of John Cena and like the Rizzler.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting there.
Dude, that's too spot on. The Rizzler. He does look like if the Rizzler grew up a little bit and had like a rough go at it.
So you can see him.
He's hard to miss. Yeah. Well, he's slightly less hard to miss now, I guess, after this weight loss. He does kind of look like if the Rizzler Like if childhood fame really didn't work out for the Rizzler.
Well, it might not.
This could be the future.
He could be looking into the scary future.
Is there a chance that Jelly Roll is a time traveler and he's just the Rizzler from 2050? The Rizzler, man. I saw him get in a fist fight with that Hezbollah kid the other day.
Like in person?
No. Yeah, I was at the store. No, it was online, and people were mad. You know who the Hezbollah kid is?
Yeah.
He's actually like 30, I think, or in his 20s. So everybody was upset that he was punching this 9-year-old in the face, like despite the fact that they're roughly the same size. I think the Rizzler had quite an advantage on Hezbollah in size and strength, I'm sure. But the age thing is what seemed to bother some folks. Yeah. Does that concern you at all? I'm asking the hard-hitting questions here. How do you feel about the Rizzler getting punched by Hezbollah?
No feelings really. I think the opposite actually happened with Mike Tyson, didn't it? Where Mike Tyson thought that Hezbollah was a young child, and he kissed him on the forehead.
Yes, he did. He kind of tossed him up in the air and gave him the helicopter.
He was like, "Oh, you're so cute!" Like,
Yeah, he definitely Hezbollah. He loved on Hezbollah a lot, and that did bother me more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I have feelings on. Yeah,
I have a lot of feelings on Mike in general. But I have a T-shirt of his that I sometimes don't want to.
And when you say a T-shirt of his,
he gave it to me.
Like he used to wear it. Like
he left it here one night when he left. No,
you have his hoodie. Yeah.
Early morning. Yeah, he sprayed it so it smells like him.
Nice.
No, I just bought a Mike Tyson T-shirt one time at like a vintage store that I thought was cool, and it has his face on it, and it is cool. But he's like one of those guys that's right on the line with like, do I really want people to know that I like this guy?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. He's done like just enough, I guess, to be. And I'm sure, luckily, I don't think I have the type of audience to react to this sort of thing, but there's definitely people who will hear this and be like, he's a monster.
Yeah.
And then there's people who will hear that and be like, he's the sweet. We love Mike Tyson. Like, maybe he's both. I don't know.
This is a very controversial podcast because of this.
Yeah, we're going to be breaking the internet.
Mike Tyson is the divide.
You and I were just talking a little bit about like numbers and growth and stuff before this. Imagine this is what pops up.
They're like, yo, I love their opinions on Mike Tyson.
Do you know how pissed I would be after all the effort I've put into the last 22 episodes?
Yeah.
Our discussion about Mike Tyson kissing Hezbollah is what goes viral. I'll be so happy.
You guys
honestly,
start having
I would be fine with it.
You gotta do a segment now for every episode where you like bring up a recent moment and you decide whether it's cancelable or not.
That's true.
Like, is the Rizzler done because of what he did?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll post a poll in the comments if you want to. Is the Rizzler done? I don't think the Rizzler is what people were concerned about. I think it was more what I saw. The hate was going to the little guy. I think Hezbollah was getting most of the blowback.
Okay,
since he punched a 9-year-old in the face,
right?
Right. Which I'll admit, if you don't see the two of them, and I just said to you, this 30-year-old punched this 9-year-old, you'd be like, is he in prison? Like, what's
yeah. But not just on TikTok.
This 30-year-old's cute as hell, though.
He's adorable. He is adorable.
He's so likable. Yeah.
My understanding of like who's like celebrities right now is very minimal because I'm not on like any so like I don't do TikTok or anything like that.
I love that for you so much.
Yeah, no, it's great, but like my understanding of like who's a celebrity right now is like who's in like a YouTube ad, you know, like or like I'm watching Hulu and there's an ad. I'm like, that's that fucking guy.
Who is that guy for you? Right now? Is there a guy that you just see on Hulu ads all the time? Like who? I'm honestly not sure either.
The Rizzler. That's like, yeah, dude. Why do you think I know who that is? He was in
He's been doing podcasts,
like a Marriott Bonvoy commercial.
Really?
Yeah, where it just like cuts to him and he does this little thing, and then I Google. I'm like, who the fuck? You know, like
that's not just any 9-year-old. That's the Rizzler.
Yeah, he's 9.
I think he's 9. Yeah, something like that. He's pretty big for 9.
I thought it was like an Andy Milonakis situation.
Nope. No, but the video of that kid getting his hair cut, have you seen that? And they think he's a woman is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Andy Milonakis.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He's in some foreign country. I don't know where he's at, some country. And there's a bit of a language barrier, but they think he's a female. Yeah. So he just goes in for a haircut. He gets the craziest fucking cut. And then they're like kissing him on the cheek and being like, ciao.
He's actually like a 40-year-old man. Like,
yes. It's crazy. It's not good. There is that weird lane too of like internet celebrity where it's like you and I could reference people to where it's very niche.
Oh yeah.
You know, like my grandma has no idea who the fucking Rizzler is.
No.
And to explain it to her.
Is she listening? Is she?
Probably not. I don't know, maybe. But if she is, I already know the answer. She doesn't know the Rizzler. But she also knows older celebrities that we don't. But the new celebrity is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. Like Hezbollah is a weird one. Like what's his talent? He's small.
Yeah.
Punch a 9-year-old.
Yeah, he's small, he's angry, he likes to hit people, and he looks young.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like by association, like he's in with all those, Khabib and that like Dagestani crew.
You lost me there.
Okay, all right. He's like a UFC champion from Dagestan. That I believe, my understanding is that's how Hezbollah kind of entered this like online personality thing, is this fighter community.
He was like a sidekick.
Yeah, he would like be in the corner of some of these UFC fights, and people are like, who is that dude? What is that 30-year-old that looks like a 9-year-old doing over there? Yeah. And then he kind of got attention, and then now he's everywhere. But it's so random, the internet stuff.
I don't think there are any like, okay, I don't want to say none, but I don't think there are any true celebrities like there used to be.
No,
like
it's so different.
It's really watered down, the idea of like what a celebrity is. Like,
yeah, it is.
We'll never have those.
I guess Taylor Swift is probably the closest right now.
Yeah. I would say she's probably the closest and probably like one of the last ones, but it's still nowhere even close to like a Michael Jackson.
No.
Whereas like they were on a god level where people fainted when they saw them and would literally piss themselves in the audience because they didn't want to walk away to go to the bathroom. Like, that's now, like, I mean, I feel like most people, Taylor Swift is a huge celebrity, but if they met her in real life, like,
they might not pass out.
Most people just be like, oh shit, that was Taylor Swift.
A lot of teenage girls would, maybe.
Yeah, but that's what they do. So.
Well, to be fair, that's also who's passing out for Elvis. But, maybe they just pass out a lot. Who knows? The celebrity thing has definitely changed. The interesting thing, I think, and especially talking about like musicians, like Haley, my girlfriend prior to being in the relationship with me, didn't have like a super mixed background with art. So like, like family loves certain music and certain movies and certain things, but like I've had to expose her to a lot of stuff. And it's been cool to like see her pick her favorites and see what resonates. But often we talk about this idea of like, if we're listening to like Sinatra, of like you can't fathom the level of because, and it's not that he was more famous than anyone is now. It's that there was like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like that's it. There's 3 guys maybe that were at that level. Now, the fucking Rizzler is 9 and he's maybe as noticeable as most musicians. Like that didn't used to be the case. And I think the most interesting part of it to me, because a lot of people say Michael Jackson is another one. Yeah. Sinatra, Elvis. Like, what is fascinating to me, and the Beatles too, if you go backwards, there's a time in America where there are those celebrities, but it was so long ago that, like, collective consciousness, we don't really remember them now.
Yeah.
And I think Sinatra might be like next on that chopping block.
Yeah.
Like
where
kids he's today don't understand.
Yeah, he was like a world known superstar, but like there's like you said, there's a certain point where they're just like they do get forgotten.
It fades.
Not by the pop like world as a whole, but general knowledge. Like if you ask somebody like, oh, who's Frank Sinatra? They're just like, singer. Like maybe like
but not as beloved as at one time. My favorite example of this, and this is one that I've had to fact check myself a billion times, and it's like it's so hard to comprehend. There is an artist who has more so the top 3 number 1 hit songs in like charts history, and it could be pop charts or just general charts, I'm not sure exactly. Number 2 and 3 are the Beatles and Elvis, and I think Beatles is number 2, Elvis is 3. Number 1, has more number one hit songs than 2 and 3 combined. Nobody knows who it is. Do you have any idea who it is?
No.
Glenn Miller.
Who the fuck is Glenn Miller?
Exactly. Exactly. This is my favorite example of this. Glenn Miller
What did he do?
He was a big band swing guy in the 20s, 30s, 40s. Maybe 30s and 40s predominantly. He had I can't remember the exact numbers, but let's just say, if the Beatles have like 80 and Elvis has maybe 40, that's 120. He's got like 129 on his own or something.
That's crazy.
The numbers are fucking bananas. But he was on the radio at a time when 3 dudes were on the radio. You know what I mean?
He was one of the only guys doing it.
One of the only guys doing it. So every song he put out was a number one hit because it was the only song out that year or whatever. Like that, I think sometimes the slip in standard for that we forget about. And so like when talking about Taylor Swift, it's like for today's standard, she's so fucking famous.
Insane.
But for 1940, nobody's more famous than Glenn Miller, and you have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
He also died he was on a USO mission during World War II. His whole band was flying in a plane to play for the troops, and they were shot down over the Atlantic, and he died. Nobody knows who this guy is. That's a crazy fucking story. 120 something, or maybe, I don't know, somewhere in there, hits and, number one hits, and then shot down by the Nazis, and everybody's like, who the fuck is Glenn Miller?
Who the fuck's Glenn?
That's insane to me.
I'm going to go listen to some Glenn tonight.
If you're into that sort of thing, I love like big band, swing, jazz stuff.
Yeah.
If you're into that, he has a lot of hits. And a lot of them, that era of music has kind of found its way into movies a lot too. So some of them you may even hear and recognize. You know what I mean? You just don't know who he is. But it's also like before musicians really had a face. Because a lot of his stuff is like pre-TV and pre-film and stuff, So it's like, I probably couldn't, I could, but a lot of people would see his face and go, I have no idea who that guy is. Sinatra is getting close.
Yeah.
He's getting close. And I wonder, like, then eventually Elvis will be on the chopping block. And he's probably pretty close too, really, where a lot of kids.
I feel like Elvis is tough though, because like he's one of the celebrities who has ended up with, tons of pop culture references.
Right.
So there's
he stays
a little
alive.
bit. Yeah. And he has like a personality and like an outfit and like a look that is being replicated a lot.
Yeah, kind
of similar, which I think honestly Michael Jackson might be on the out before Elvis.
That's true.
Because I feel like he's like his music is really popular, and but I feel like him being represented in pop culture and media kind of died a little while back ago.
Well, some things can affect that trajectory as well. And again, no formal opinion from me, but I do think, after a certain amount of controversy sometimes though can keep your image alive too. Like I think when I was a kid, I don't think that my awareness of P. Diddy was very high.
No.
But I feel like kids today say no Diddy. I know they do because I've worked in the schools. They say no Diddy, as in like no homo, basically, is what they're saying. Like no Diddy. So it's like through controversy, he found his way back in to the language and the culture, which is so weird. Do you know about honestly, it would kind of scare me if you did know about this. So let me preface that. I worked in the schools for years, and then I've been out of it for a few years. And with work, we do this thing called Junior Achievement, where we sign up and volunteer and go to the schools and teach them about like banking and personal finance. And I'm on the marketing team, so I went. And so I got to be back in the old middle school I used to work in. And it's changed a lot in just a couple of years. Yeah. But one thing the kids are really into now, there's this trend of like quarter zips and matcha. Do you know about that?
Quarter zips and matcha? Okay, so I know what matcha is. Right. And a quarter zip is in like the jacket, right?
The hoodie with the zip that goes down a quarter of the way. Yes. Yeah. So there's some. I sound like an old fucking man on
they're
this.
talking quarter zips and matcha.
Those darn kids. There's some video, I believe a TikTok originally, that went viral of guys dressed in, and it's kind of a meme of like, we're out here in our quarter zips, we have our matcha, we're elegant. That's something they said that in the video, we're elegant. So the kids now, it's like all the rage. It's kind of like the 6'7" thing, about that, like 6, 7.
Okay, so
whatever the fuck
I've
that is.
heard of it, but I don't know about it.
That one's
I
reaching the level now where most people have heard of it.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody really knows what the fuck it is. It's like all wrapped up in that, where it's like they have their own language. Mm-hmm. That's so fucking strange to me. Being an adult and realizing, like,
I'm sure you had your
about.
own, slang and jargon, whatever you want to call it when you were a kid.
We had a lot of them, and a lot of it is like, at my time, it was like Vines or like pop culture meme stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this whole, like, not only are they saying quarter zips and matcha, they're dressed like, if you don't show up to school in a quarter zip with a matcha, you're a fucking loser. Like, they live and breathe by these memes, by these cultural things. And it's like, if you're like a company that's selling quarter zips, or if you're Starbucks, I guarantee you right now in America, you can put my life on this. If you could somehow access the Starbucks sales database, I guarantee you matcha's gone up.
Oh, matcha's probably crazy.
Through the roof. Because of this fucking meme. Yeah. Because of this thing. Like, what a weird world. What a weird world we're living in. I even, I may have to cut this part out. I'll ask her on Monday. Okay. This next part may or may not be in. So I'll just say it for you. So my boss is awesome, and her dad is a former pretty high-ranking politician. Okay, at a certain level, we'll say, that is very recognizable. Okay, a lot of people know him, and locally he's beloved for the most part. You know, I'm sure there's people. He's recognizable, at least.
How much can I screw
they
with
have
this?
As much as you want.
Okay.
They have a lot of grandkids. Because there's my boss is his daughter, and he has several daughters and a lot of grandkids. And so, as sort of a prank on Halloween to make the grandkids laugh, he and his wife dressed up as 6 and 7. Okay, what stood out to me, and I said this to my boss because she's like, I've never thought of it that way because it's her dad. It's just her dad. It's her life. I said, so you're telling me, and I will bleep this part, the former went to his family's Halloween party as 7 from 6, 7. Like, fucking tell me that this simulation is not broken. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's such a crazy trajectory with the online stuff. It's so crazy. Like, if you could go back to the 90s when this guy's like in office and even early 2000s and making and go, hey, one day you're going to dress as 7 from 6, 7. And he's like, what the fuck is 6, 7? Like,
was that a movie? Like,
right. It makes no sense to anybody, but we're just, I don't know, man. We're just living in it. Have you ever heard the theory that, like, we did all die in the the asteroid impact?
That's just a theory? Is that not real?
No, I mean, that was like a real thing. Yeah, of like, we all, 2012, right? Yeah. We all died in 2012, and this is just hell.
I thought that was a movie.
It is a movie. You ever seen it?
2012? Yeah. I saw it in 2012.
People aren't going to like this. I like it. I will stand by it. It's an entertaining movie. Yeah. It's not great.
Didn't that movie, it came out in 2012?
Oh, yeah, it scared the shit out of me. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think they put it out. Yeah, that is a cool thing as a movie to be like, "Whew, you better come see this because next week it's over."
that would be kind of like a letdown once it's like comes to DVD or whatever, because it's like 2013 January. You're like, well, this is a load of horse shit.
It is funny. It does take away some of the fear. Yeah. I also saw it when it was new, just like you said. So there was a certain level of like, oh my God, I can't believe this is all going to happen. Yeah. Now it's like, babe, you want to stream 2012? Yeah. No. Why? Yeah. I mean, the thought that like we're all just having a good, Kanye's interrupting Taylor Swift on stage or whatever. Yeah. And then they put out this movie. It's like, better soak it up. Better enjoy the fucking, remember the glasses from that era that had like bars across them? Like Kanye would wear them.
Hater blockers. Hater shades? Or was it hater block? It was something like that. I think it was hater blockers.
Kanye would wear them all the time on stage and shit. That was like it just, and then they started doing them that would like say swag in the bars and shit.
Yeah, swag.
YOLO. Jesus Christ.
The swag era. There was a whole like everyone was obsessed with like mustaches and cats and lasers and rainbow, like the so random.
Yes.
That was my like introduction to the internet was during that period of time.
That's kind of lives within you still.
Yeah, 2008 to 2010 was kind of like I had just gotten on the internet like at my grandma's house, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious.
You're like, Charlie the Unicorn will never be topped. This is prime comedy.
Oh my god.
My first girlfriend, well, actually, yeah, I think my first like.
So I just had so many, can't keep track.
My first, well, I'm thinking like, when does it count? You know what I mean?
Right.
My first girlfriend in middle school, which to me is about where it's like you maybe keep, like my mom had met this person. The thing, you know, like when you're a kid, you like give each other something or like you wear her bracelet or whatever. Yeah. The thing I would wear of her, and I haven't thought about this in years. God, I hope she somehow hears this. The thing I would wear with hers was a white rubber bracelet that was like this thick on the wrist. And it said, I must ask you a question. And it had like that mustache emoji. Classic. Or it was like, I heart mustaches or something like, you know, but I would like keep it all the time, and she would like spray her perfume on it so it like smelled like her. Oh god, the fucking I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. But you know, when you're like however old, 13 or something, you just like want a little piece of that person or something.
You're just sitting there like just
literally. God, I miss her. Oh, I miss it. Yeah, when you're smelling it, like, oh man, if we could only be together at a basketball game this Saturday. I love that shit, man. Early relationships when you're a young boy, because it's still like somewhat innocent. But you know, like 13, you're starting to become a monster a little bit. But it's like it's all in your head. It's a secret that you're becoming a monster. Now, like by 16, everybody knows. Yeah, 16-year-old boys are animals.
They're the worst.
But at 13, it's like so like like at least in my experience, it's like, oh my god, she looked at me like that. It's so funny. My mom took me to her birthday at the movies. It was like a lot of kids were there or something. And I remember the moment where my mom's like dropping me off and she met her mom and dad for the first time. You know what I mean? That moment I remember being like, fuck. Like, I hope they get along. I have to marry this girl one day. Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. That is a cool part about working in the schools too, is seeing all of them be like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's sad. And you're like, shut up. You don't know. Although now, you know, they're FaceTiming for 4 hours a day or whatever. Yeah. Like, it was not like that.
Do you FaceTime?
Every once in a while, if I've been on the road all weekend or something, Haley will FaceTime me just so I can see Copper. But only Haley. I don't think I can't remember the last time I FaceTime anybody except my girlfriend. Yeah. I don't think so.
I can't do FaceTime for some, like
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird to me. Like,
it catches you off guard, for sure.
I'm not even like a huge like phone call person. I'm not like either. Yeah, Ella's pretty much the only person that I you know consistently talk to on the phone. But FaceTime, just like I feel uncomfortable. Like I just don't think I'm used to like seeing myself and like it feels,
it's not good.
It feels different. I feel like I can't like ease myself into a conversation.
Right. Well, it's one thing to be like, I'm gonna FaceTime you at 6. Yeah. And then you like have some idea of like what to look like. Yeah. But if it's like you wake up to a FaceTime, you're like, hello. Like it's not good. Yeah. And I mean, Haley will do it out of the blue every now and then, but it is normally like she's showing me something or like asking me a question about, you know, something we bought or something she's trying to buy or something. I don't know. You're not like, you and I have this, for me, like perfect relationship where it's like the only time we text is like, you want to hang out? Yes. When? Yeah. And then we do. And then there's a break. Yeah. And then it's like, you want to hang out? Yes. When? And we do. It's like the simplest, best fucking communication ever. Because I think you and I both are like, I don't need to check in. I don't need to go.
Yeah, because like,
how you doing?
I want to be able to, like, when I do see somebody, I want to be able to talk about those things and not be like, well, what have you been up to since I last texted you? Like, what's new? And it's like, well, you told me about that, or like, oh yeah, I heard about that, or oh, I saw that on your your reels or whatever. Like,
that's a big part of it too, is like we kind of know everything that's going on with people anymore. If certain people share too much, you know. But with you, it's like, I never know what's going on with you. That's why every time I see you, I'm like, new job again, huh? Like,
same job.
Oh wow.
Holding steady.
Wow. And now I think I said on the last episode at the very end, I think I said, next time you come on, you can tell me about whatever your next job is. So I lost that one, folks. I
won for once. That's great.
Are you still happy? Like, you're liking it still?
Yeah. No, I like it a lot. Yeah,
that's good, because I know that's like rare in your life to be like content with a job. Yeah, or really maybe just all areas of life. But the job in particular is one that you and I both have like related on, that we just can't sit still.
It's like a job will be like fun or like new or exciting. It's like, oh, I've never done this before. And then you just get sick of it.
It's usually 2 years for me.
Yeah.
2 years is about the point with jobs, relationships, cars, anything, homes. I'm like, all right, next. Like,
I actually had a manager once that like clocked me so hard, and not in the like he didn't like punch me, but just like really sorry. That's a new term the kids are throwing around. Yeah. He like so accurately like broke me down once in like a one-on-one that we had, and he was like you're really good at what you do, and you try really hard, but you plateau and you give up. And I was like, oh fuck, he got me. Like he was like you learn really quickly. He's like, learning comes easily to you. And he's like, you pick up jobs really fast
and you get bored.
And he's like, you get bored and you give up and you stop trying. Yeah. And I was like, you're wrong. Screw you. You know? Like, I was like,
just for that I quit. And you're like reinforcing his point.
But that was one of those times where, and also I hated the guy.
Sure.
So, we didn't have a great relationship, and I think
I remember this guy.
Yeah. The problem, was, no, this is actually a different guy. This was before then.
All right.
But yeah, the problem was, I think I saw that I could end up like him.
Oh, sure.
So, and I think it came from him like noticing something that came naturally to him, and he was like, oh, like, watch out, you're gonna end up like me, divorced and sleeping on the couch. So yeah, I just didn't like that.
I love the resentment in that. You're like, this fucking loser.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's true. You can see the road ahead and go, I don't want to go down this path.
Yeah.
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah, it really pissed me off how right he was. So I started trying. And it was awesome. Yeah.
Do you think, like, I'm curious, what was his intention for saying this to you? Was it to prevent, like, to wake you up to that and prevent you from leaving him, or was it like a criticism? Was it like, how did he mean that?
I think it was a criticism. It was definitely like you need to get back into it, or like, you know, like, wake up, buddy. Like,
he
you
could
gotta
see the burnout a little bit.
Yeah, I think. But it didn't really, I didn't feel like it came from like a caring perspective. I think it came from like I don't know.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Like he needed you.
Yeah, exactly.
Something from you.
Something like that.
I'm always very skeptical of people who give you advice that is across the board in their best interest. Like, it's one thing if there's coincidences where what's best for me is also what's best for you, and so as your friend you give me advice that helps us both. That's different. People who intentionally try to mold your journey or direct your path in a way that either directly benefits them or at least like reinforces their own idea, like that this is what worked for them. So you have to do it that way, and if you don't, it's almost like offensive to them because they take pride in the fact that they were able to follow that journey. Does that make any sense at all? And I think I've found because of who I am, I'm such I'll kind of bend over backwards for you and I'll let you walk over me a little bit.
Oh, really?
Well, unfortunately, yes. And I'm getting better about it, but at this stage in life, I've ran into a lot of trouble with that. Yeah. Like I've slept in a bed with monsters for a long time, saying to myself, I'm not scared of them, you know, and I'm really not, but it's like, kind of the analogy I've used before, I think maybe even on the show, is like, I've had friendships where I go, yeah, that dog's really mean, but he'd never bite me. Yeah. Like I see the way they interact with the world, but for some reason I think I'm the exception. And then when they turn on you, it can be very sad. Yeah. It can be very shocking. Definitely. And very hurtful. And I've done that many times in my life. This is not a shot at a particular person, but I think that kind of leads me to always be wary anytime somebody sits with you and goes, here's who you are. Yeah. Or here's what I see in you. It's like, yeah, but you don't know me really. You know, like you and I are pretty close, but I don't think I would be hesitant to say I know the real you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every relationship you have, even like with your parents, there's some level of disconnect. Yeah. Where it's like, I don't know, I guess maybe it's just trauma, honestly, where it's like, I'm only me when I'm alone 100%. Yeah. Some people, you know those like golden retriever type people? You ever meet the like?
Yeah, are they always like
hey
that?
Guys,
like,
how we good? I love to think about when they go home and they're alone. There has
Yeah.
to be a moment where they're like, I fucking hate this, dishwasher breaking all the time.
Yeah.
Something shatters that. So I just think people are interesting, man.
Yeah, well, that's actually something that I struggled with a little bit because like knowing how I was at work, in all the different jobs I had, it was like I'm not like that all the time.
Yeah,
that was very much a performance in a way.
Yeah. Did you ever get discouraged by people, especially like coworkers, who had that expectation for you both at work and then outside of work too? Like if you hang out with people, do you feel the pressure to be the guy they know from work a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But I
that's what it's like to be a comic all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like anyone who knows you're a comic is like, tell us a joke.
Yeah.
We just had Thanksgiving this yesterday, and family events are probably the worst for it, where I could say fucking anything, and somebody in the room will be like, is that gonna be, you gonna do that?
Yeah.
You gonna talk about that on stage? You gonna? And I'm like, no, not everything is just work. It happens all the time. It's like fucking, if a paper box is empty, they'll be like, you should do that on stage. And I'm like, do what?
Yeah.
Do what? I mean, the pressure of that is annoying, but in your case, you're set like, it's not necessarily just humor for you.
Yeah.
It's like energy.
Oh yeah, it was the whole
attention,
the whole performance of it, of like being this, crazy guy, you know. And not that like it wasn't fake. It was just played up a lot. Like that's who I am inside, but it takes a lot of energy to just like pump that out all the time. And like there was definitely, very many days where like I would be at work and I'd have like a really great day, and I did like an 8, 10, 12-hour shift or whatever, just like all gas, no breaks, and then I get home and it's like like taking my clothes off, just like total different person.
I mean, it drains you too, like putting that energy into the world. I feel like everybody only has so much of that. And I do think certain people have a much bigger tank, like social battery than others, and usually I think, and maybe we're both like this, like I would consider my social battery pretty small, but hypercharged, where like I'm going to give you what you want while I'm around you. Yeah. But I don't want to be around you all the time. Like, and Haley and I just joked about this recently, because we're together coming up on 3 years. So she's pretty much figured out how I operate. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like she can see the waves and the bipolar and stuff. She knows what's coming. We were joking the other day where I said something and she, kind of like clapped back a little bit as a joke. And I said something to the effect of like, it's very simple to be with me. Like, I want you around all the time, but also I don't want you around all the time. I was like, what's so confusing about this? Like I think having some awareness for that in yourself is good. Like the contrast of you at work and then you like sighing and hanging up your jacket is like, you're a person. You're a human. I would be so much more scared of you.
Yeah, if it just kept going. Like
you're at home like, hang this jacket, pour this coffee. I would be
like making breakfast like, woo, isn't this so much fun? Like
toss in a pancake. Yeah, like, okay. Tone it down. And some people, honestly, that is almost sad to me, where it's like you can't ever just admit to yourself that sometimes life fucking sucks and is hard. I've had like a little stretch the last few weeks where it's like, I don't know what you want to call it, but just a little stretch of life where you get hit with real obstacles and challenges. One thing that it does do, for me at least, is like shift perspective on all the shit I thought was stressful. Yeah. Like, oh, that doesn't, nobody cares. This show is one where it's like, usually episodes come out on Tuesday, so usually Monday and Sunday you can catch me a little stressed about getting the editing done and the color matching or the lighting, or I had a bulb go out and I need to re-record the intro. There's like all these things that could possibly go wrong. Then something real happened. Like I got in a car wreck last week, and all of a sudden I was like, who gives a fuck about any of that?
Fuck the podcast.
It doesn't matter. And if it comes out 2 hours late on Tuesday, I know Dustin isn't going to get to watch it at 9. Love you, Dustin. He watches everything as soon as I do it, or he tries to. He's very supportive. And I hate that I can't be always on time for him, but I'm just like one guy trying to do this whole thing and like put out, I put out 15 clips in 3 days for this Thanksgiving episode. That's a lot of editing that nobody really thinks about. And And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't grow. Nothing changes. It's like
Not yet.
Not yet. But also, I don't really care about that. Like this one, I think sometimes with guests, there's ones that I'm really excited about. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, normally, that does not translate in views.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like my favorite episode I think I've done that I was like real honored to do was maybe 16 or 17, somewhere in there. And I sat down with the professor of psychology that I was telling you about before. And I was like, again, like honored to sit down with him. I think he's going to come back eventually. And it was like so interesting and such a cool look at that guy and his world. And that's a guy who like has everything to share with the world, but has never been on a platform to do it. Mm-hmm. So I felt like this is a real cool find, and I wanted to share his voice and his genius with people. Nobody watched it.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it because he doesn't have an online following and people can't see it through his socials, like all these things. And it's just like, do I even care about that? Yeah. Or do I just care about the fact that for an hour and a half, I got to sit here with him? That was pretty cool. That was, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about guests and booking the show. But for you, what gets you inspired with projects now? Like outside of work? Because I know you still do, you mentioned you're writing jokes every now and then.
Yeah.
You play the drums all the time still, I think, right? Mm-hmm. With stuff like that, what is it for you that like gets you excited? And it could be super vague or like a through line between all the, different stuff.
Yeah. I think it's more just like in the moment ideas or inspiration. Like I'm not really sure. I don't really know what
like impulsive stuff.
Yeah. It's very impulsive where just like, it'll like a thought will just come to me and I'll just have to, I have to follow down that rabbit hole until I either get somewhere where it's like, okay, I've spent like an hour or two working on this thing and it's not going anywhere and I just give up, or until I get to the end I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied with that. And then I probably like, if it's a joke, I'll probably never think about it ever again.
Sure.
Or a song or whatever. Like, yeah, it's all very in the moment. But I would say what like the biggest inspiration for me would be being around other artists. Yeah, for sure. That's the main, other than just like, oh, like that's a cool idea. Let me see what I can do with that. But like the actual inspiration and what makes me want to make music or anything like that is being around a like-minded artist.
Yes, that's a big one. And I think because stand-up is so singular, sometimes we forget that it is important in stand-up too. Like to hang out at a table with 6 other comics. Not that I would get jokes out of it per se, but just the energy to feed off of it is important. And especially like when, I'm kind of doing it almost remote. Like I'm kind of on my own. Like me and Trav are kind of the only ones around here who travel and do it. And then there's a few others, but like Travis does festivals. So he's always on the road by himself. And I don't get accepted into those festivals yet because he's at a different level than I am. So I'm just doing smaller time shows on the road by myself. It's very like, it can be, stand-up can be very isolating in that way. Yeah. Whereas with music, especially in a band, it's like you need everybody to do the thing. I can do it 100% on my own, but I do feel like you lose something.
Yeah, it's really hard to make music in a black hole. Because you kind of need, or at least for me, I really need that, like, I need someone to bounce ideas off of. Yeah. Someone to be like, oh, like, that sounds sick, or like keep that, like, because it's really easy when you're doing something all on your own to just overthink something, or like, you go too far and it ruins the essence of what you started with. Yes. And even if it's not like, like sitting down with other artists and like making music together, even just hanging out with other people who have similar interests or make similar things, like you said, gives you that energy. Even if you're not getting anything from them, it gives you the energy and inspiration to be like, oh, like I want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I think a cool part of it too, at least in my experience, is sometimes that I can get that energy or that inspiration or that muse or fire or whatever from people who are incredibly talented or passionate about what they do. But there's no overlap to my own passion. Yeah. Like if I see somebody who's like a really fucking talented, whatever, watercolor painter or something. that kind of ignites something in me, despite the fact that I have no ambition to color with or paint with watercolor. You know, like I just to see someone who is, and that's honestly kind of a through line of this show is like, no matter who's sitting where you are, they're passionate about something, and that's normally what we wind up talking about. Yeah. That's kind of what keeps me intrigued in the idea of the show and in the moment, like in this conversation. The common ground, I think, is sometimes a lot more than people are willing to see. Yeah. Especially, and this may be getting a little woo-woo, but like in a culture that's so divided and like offended and binary and teams and pick sides and shit, we're kind of all the same.
Yeah.
You know, like
we all have passions, you know?
Yeah, if you just turn off the fucking news, most people you can relate to some degree, you know, and even like I'll use my friend Knox as an example, and he's been on the show too, episode 3 or 4, I think. He's a director, and I've worked with him on some of his short films. I've held boom mics, and I've, you know, done some editing and stuff on post, and I've helped with lighting and all these things. I don't necessarily want to be a filmmaker, but when I'm around him, I almost am convinced I do. Yeah. Because he's so infectious about his love and knowledge for it that you go, well, if this guy is so obsessed with it, maybe I should be too. Right. That's kind of, I think that's my favorite part about like musical influences, you know, like for mine, it was a lot of family. Like my dad would sit me down and be like, you know, this is the story of like when I was a kid, NWA was a thing, and your grandma hated it, and she would like smash my NWA tapes and like wouldn't let me listen to it. So here's NWA. Now the problem is I'm probably 6 at the time, so it's a little young. Yeah. But I love that idea of like, this culture matters to me, so I'm going to share it with you. Mm-hmm. That I really like that part. Of life.
That's awesome.
Of life, and sometimes that comes from friends. You know, like when you're in high school and you're riding around in your friend's car, and they put some shit on, you're like, what is this shit at first? And then by the end of the day, you're like, I think this is my new favorite thing. Mm-hmm. That's a special, just that whole time. I mean, that's like the 3rd time we brought it up. But when you think about being 13, is that like a special time for you at all? Is there an age that sticks out? Like, I think 13, 14, maybe even 15, 16. After that, it starts to fade a little. Yeah. The world got a little too real. But like, I remember the summer of my 16th birthday, I had a car, but no job.
Nice.
That's the best life I'll maybe ever live. Yeah. Like 0 responsibility, 0 income, but a car and some savings, like some money in savings to pay for gas or meals or whatever. So it's just me and like, you know, my other buddies who could already drive, or we go pick them up and just fucking off with life. Yeah. I miss that shit because we never do that anymore. At least I don't. You know, I'm really bad about reminding myself. Like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I had like a random day, kind of like today, where I didn't have a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And I just went out to this trail that I'd always seen, but never walked it, got to the end and was blown away by what was there. Like something really cool. And I'm not going to spoil it because honestly, I don't want to blow this spot up because we're talking about shooting something there maybe. Nice. But I'll show you some photos and stuff later. Just a really cool thing. And it's like, I remember talking to Haley when I got back to my car and going, I forgot to just like wander. Yeah. That's a boyish thing that I think a lot of men grow out of. Yeah. Is like
just roaming.
Yeah, like fucking Christopher Robin walking through the woods. You know what I mean? Like just playing basically. Mm-hmm. Not like with toys, but like I don't have a purpose in this. Yeah. I have no idea what's at the end of this road. I'm just going to walk it. I lose sight of that a lot in life. That's a tough thing to come to grips with, I think, when you realize, for the last year, I've just been all gas. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't coast at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like times where, I mean, back then, you didn't really have anything to care about except literally what was in front of you, what was currently going on. You didn't have, like, places to be or, you know, you didn't have anything to think about other than, what am I doing right now? You know? And it's one thing to do that on your own, but I think the real magic comes when, you know, it's you and a bunch of friends who also don't have anything going on or anything to worry about. And it's just like, you're just doing whatever. And it's just pure, just adventure and fun. And it's like, even if you can somehow get that back in yourself now, then having to find someone who's also in the mood to do that too and doesn't have, you know,
a wife,
bill on their mind or kids or, you know, some shit going on in their life that they're thinking about, and also just like a phone where it's like, you know, constant access to what's going on other than what's in front of you right now. So
being present.
Yeah.
You're like forced to be present. Also, one thing it made me think of, you talking about like the act of being together, is like geographically, I think it really stands out to me because there wasn't jack shit for us to do at that age. Because it's like we're too young to get into some of the, whatever clubs or the nightlife stuff. But we're too old to go to fucking Chuck E. Cheese. So it's like you're in this weird in between where it's like, especially locally, I mean, me and my buddies, I don't even know how many times would just ride around. And we weren't like smoking weed. We weren't drinking. None of that. We're literally just like 5 of us in a car riding around just fucking off. Or like go to Walmart and just walk around. I have a video of my friend Brandon jumping in the ball pit at Walmart because we're bored and stupid and 15. And it's like if you put like a monkey in a big empty room, it's going to have to like entertain itself. Like you didn't give it anything. Yeah. So a 16-year-old boy is like, I need stimulation, but nobody's looking at me. Yeah. So what do we do? That's probably some of the happiest times in life, I think.
Dude, I miss 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah.
That's
where you can see America's finest.
Exactly.
3 a.m.
I was one of the finest.
Yeah. See a lot of Batman pajama pants around midnight in a Walmart. Not just on the racks. Yeah. I mean, ladies wearing them,
Dude, I literally had a pair of Batman pajama pants. Yeah.
The kids are wearing that to school now, too.
Really?
You got the boys in fucking quarter zips and drinking matcha.
I was thinking, I was like, so is this a quarter zip and pajama pants and a matcha and Takis? Is that still a thing?
It can be very divisive. That's what I've like. The class that I went and taught to last week was the band class, and it was like a combined room. So it's like 100 kids in this room, and which is hell, by the way. But to be in that room with 100 13-year-olds, or maybe 65 or something. There's pockets.
165?
No. Like 65 kids.
Gotcha.
Or maybe, I don't know, more than that, somewhere between there and 100. But like, there's, this group of girls over there, they're all in like, Batman pajama pants, eating Takis and drinking brisk tea at 8 a.m. That's a certain...
A brisk is back, huh?
A brisk is back, I think. Wow. They're doing that. Then you got the kids with the TikToker hair, the perms and shit in there, and quarter zips drinking matcha. And then you got the kids who are just kids that seem to be, I would assume, not on social media. So they're just, you could tell they dress themselves. They're still kind of innocent in a way. Then you have other, you have the cheerleader girls. It's just like any other time. But I do think the social media influence has like almost exaggerated those dividing lines in the room. Because it's like one of the activities we had to do, I had to say, now pair up in about groups of 6. Yeah. There was no question what group, it's like magnets. As soon as you say that,
there was no overlap of the pajama kids and the quarter zip kids.
No, and some of them would be sitting on the sides of the room because it's assigned seating, and you'd watch 2 girls in the same outfit stand up, walk over to a corner. They're in a group, or then there's the unfortunate few that like are still sitting there and don't have a group, and that's on me to go. You're with them, you with them. One thing that you can do in that situation is go down the line and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But kids fucking hate that. I hated that, dude. If your best friend gets a 1 and you get a 2, you're like, oh, my life is over.
Well, you can't trade. You can't go to some guy and be like, hey, man, I'll give you my 1 for your 2. Like,
literally, there was a group, the girl that I was doing the class with, like we were co-teaching it, I guess. She did that for one of the activities that she was leading. She did the number thing. And I watched them just ignore her numbers. Like, I watched them just go to the group with their friend. They don't give a fuck about this lady. So, they just did
it's like, is she keeping track? She's like, I know you were a 3. Like,
I think she did kind of try actually to be like, didn't I tell you whatever? Because you're trying to break up friend groups.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just ain't gonna work. When they're 12, all they want to do is stand over there and break something with each other. Like boys are just the worst. Man. They're the worst. Do you have any ambitions to have kids at all?
That's a back and forth one for me. Like,
me too.
I really do. Like, I've always wanted to be a dad. But I think a lot of it just hinges on it being the right time. Like, I couldn't let myself become a dad unless I knew I could afford it and had the time. Like, I would have to be like so stable for me to voluntarily be like, I'm gonna bring a child into this life. Like,
yeah, I think I kind of feel the same way. Usually the response I get to that, and it, to be fair, this is mostly from like family or friends who have a vested interest in me having a kid, but typically the response to that is like, there is no right time. You just do it and then you figure out life. I think maybe it's a generational thing, but definitely you and I share in that, like, yeah, I do feel like there's some boxes I want to check off before that one.
Yeah. Whereas I'm very aware that there's no actual right time where it's like, oh, wow, I'm ready to be a dad. It's all perfect. But it's like, I know I shouldn't. I know I can't yet.
Yeah,
like,
there's a few things. Which, and my mom, my mom had me young, like as a teenager, and was a single teenage mom. So it's like, there's definitely things that she had to figure out, and that she did and navigated, and we survived and stuff, and she did an amazing job with what she was given. But is that the best thing for the child in the long run? I don't know. I think that in my case, I'm very grateful for it. I don't look back, and I mean, I poke a lot of fun at her and stuff, and it's 3/4 of my act on stage. But like, as far as the upbringing, I don't think I would change a whole lot, but then that gets into a whole broader conversation of like just traumas in life. Of like, if you could just pluck all the trauma out of a kid's life, would you actually? Probably not, because like that's what makes them who they are.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that I think about sometimes, is like, if you take away all of the bad things out of something, well, you're not removing bad out of their life. You're just raising the floor for what's considered bad, and now some fine things, or like okay, or like, that was kind of sucked, are now their worst experiences. And they have kind of a lower tolerance for, I'm not saying like, trauma's good, or like, I hate the kind of parent mentality sometimes where it's like, well, I had it bad when I was a kid, so I want you to have it just as bad as me, or like,
I got hit.
Yeah. It's like, you should want a better life for your kids than you grow up with. It should always be getting better. It shouldn't be like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of parents seemingly feel like they need to like hold their kids down because like, I don't know if it's like a jealousy thing.
I think it's all about authenticity. You can't create drama.
No,
you can't, like, that's kind of what you're saying, is like, make them tough love.
Let
them walk the hard road.
No, like,
life will toughen them up on its own. Life's pretty hard sometimes for most people.
You should want the best for your kids and try to keep them, do your best to keep them safe. But like, when things go wrong, you just have to like teach them how to deal with it.
The acceptance of that is something that's really hard too. And I think I maybe spoke on it a little with my last guest before you, but like, when you love a person, watching them go through something difficult and allowing that is like really weird and uncomfortable, and maybe unorthodox for someone like me, because you want to prevent them the pain. You want to swoop in and save them, but the truth is maybe that's not always what's best for them. And I think sometimes, like, finding myself in situations like I mentioned earlier, where it's like a friendship or a relationship or something is damaging you, you kind of do need everyone around you to let you feel that on your own. Because if they keep, downplaying it or enabling it or whatever, then you're just stuck in that weird toxicity where it's like, I don't know, it's not quite ruining my life, but I think it's a detriment to some degree. That's a weird one.
And sometimes when you have a bunch, like, someone telling you like what you should avoid, or like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this because this is like, whatever. Obviously, like, teenagers and even younger, they're very contrary. They'll try to be, it's going to push them in that other direction. So it's, but you also don't want to be like, oh, I love them. Stay with that guy. Like,
reverse psychology doesn't always work.
No, just be honest.
Thing, I was actually talking with my therapist about this the other day, of like, I kind of mentioned, I've been through a couple experiences in the last few weeks that have been really like challenging for me on a mental level. So, but one thing that I've kind of like, maybe just through therapy or age or just naturally, started to look at life as like, remember the old like pinball machines? And like, there's those rubber towers out in the middle of the pinball thing. So sometimes when the ball hits that, it takes off in another direction and you're like, shit. But sometimes it would take off and it would hit 20 points over there. Or what, like, just because that rubber thing is bad, you're trying to avoid it. But sometimes the direction it knocks you can be better than the path it was going on. You're aiming for the 10 points, you miss, hit a bounce, and then you get 20 points. Like, life, I think, is sometimes like that for me, where it's like, the hardest moments did sort of redirect me to something good. Or that maybe that's just how I choose to cope and look at it. It's like
no, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'm sure there's areas of life where I would have said, no, fuck that. You know, life's really hard. Nothing good comes out of trauma. And sometimes that's certainly true. Yeah. But I do think everything leads you on your path, whatever that is, you know, or it bounces you in a weird way. And I think, I don't know. It's just, it's hard to recognize that like proactively when you're in the moment. You're like, this sucks. Rarely can you go, but I'm going to get through it. That's hard for me. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. Maybe it's not hard for everybody. It's hard for me for whatever reason.
No, it's I'd say it's definitely a hard thing to like, you know, when you're going through something bad to be like, whatever, I'm going to get through this. Like, especially when it's, you know, when it feels like, oh, this is the worst thing that's happened to me. Yeah. That just reminds me of the Simpsons, where Homer's talking to Bart and he's like, this is the worst day of my life so far. like it's
dude, how good is that?
It's kind of it's like crushing, but it's also kind of
aware,
encouraging in some way. Like there's a weird truth to it of like like this may suck right now, but you know, there's gonna be other bad things later, and like it's, I don't know,
there's some a lot of those like sound bites do live in my head too, and I think I reference them a lot on the show, I'm sure, but one that comes to mind too with that is like the comedian Cat Williams one time was on Theo's podcast, and he was like, if you can write down on a list all the bad shit that's happened to you and look at that list and go, I got through all of that, it does give you some confidence for like I'll get through whatever's next on the list too, you know, like some awareness of that is good. It's just, that's more of a hindsight thing. Yeah. That's hard to do.
It's tough to do in the moment.
When you feel like your life's falling apart to go, but I'll get through it. That's hard. Yeah. For some people, I don't know. Maybe there's some people who are just naturally born with that like resilience, I guess would be the word, or even optimism to where it's like, you know, we'll survive. But I'm definitely more on the other side where it's like when something really difficult happens, I do allow myself to get to the point of like, I'm never going to recover. You know, the fucking Joe Exotic. I'm never going to financially recover from this. The doom and gloom. And I get it honest. I mean, I'll just tell, like the house I grew up in, one of my biggest complaints in more recent years has been like, it's just so negative. Like the thinking. So it's like that becomes almost a trap, I think, for people of like, I'm never going to make it. You know? One thing you mentioned too about the, we were talking about childhood is like wanting your kids to do better than you. I think that's something I'm very grateful that pretty much everybody in my family felt and displayed and even like said to me growing up. But there's another clip I love of Steve Harvey, of all people, on a pod. And he's talking about when his dad passed away. And he says, I knew when my dad died that was the only man who ever hoped that I did better than he did. That's kind of interesting to think about. And I think in my personal predicament, you know, I don't really have that relationship so much. So it resonates with me in a unique way because of my own dad relationship. But like this idea that you said of like, I created these people and I want them to do better, whereas pretty much everybody else in life would never pick your well-being over their own.
No, never.
You know, to some extent. Yeah. That's a weird one. I don't know with the kids thing. I think, do you get a lot of pressure from family for it?
The most pressure I'm really getting, or the only pressure really, is just for my brother. Yeah. He has a son, so that's the only child right now of you know my siblings. Yeah. And boy, he wants him to have some cousins. I bet. So,
but I bet the kid's like, fuck that, man. I'm getting all the I like this. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. He doesn't even know what having a cousin would be like.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I was kind of that way. I was like, I mean, I was an only child until mom remarried when I was 14. Yeah. And then I had two stepsisters. But like, I had cousins and stuff that were roughly my age. So it wasn't always like the spotlight's on me, but I lived in a house with 4 adults and I was the only kid until I was 14. So there's quite a bit of like only child syndrome. I have quite a bit of that. Yeah. Admittedly so. But now, like, I have a niece she's about to be 8, which is crazy. And she has a little brother who just turned 2, I believe, or 3. And then my sister's having another baby now. So it's like, for 5 years or so, Esme was like the only one.
Yeah.
And she got it all from all directions. And then now here's this other little guy. He's like stealing my thunder a little bit. So you can like see that resentment a little bit in the kids. And it's interesting to think about. Like, as a kid, did you like have that awareness of your siblings as well? Of like, we share the spotlight?
No, well, yeah, like, so we were all we're like pretty close in age. I feel like maybe a normal amount of close. Like, we were all like exactly 2.5 years apart. So my brother's 2.5 older and my sister's 2.5 younger. So
good timing.
Yeah. There was never really, I mean, I'm sure my brother probably has a different experience because he was the only child for a period,
right?
Up until 2 or 3. So like for me, I've just always had siblings.
Right. But for the oldest,
I'm sure there was some kind of like, what the fuck is this guy? Even for a 2.5-year-old, I know there's still that like understanding of like, what the fuck
there is, and it's on like. I don't think they're aware of it necessarily. Like they can't articulate it because they're 2. But like Haley and her sister have almost the same age gap, or maybe a little longer. And Haley has a very like and this is totally subconscious. I don't even know if I've said this to her, but when I hear her talk about like the time before her sister, there's a totally different tone in what she's saying. There's like a reminiscence and like a almost like a wonder and it was just all so great. And then it's like when she talks about her sister coming along. She loves her sister. They're very close, and her sister's amazing. But there is a level of like, and then everything changed. I think I do it too. Like going from an only kid up to 14, that was a huge shift. It didn't help too that like my siblings were all teenagers. We were like 14, 15 and a half, and 12. Yeah. That's fucking tough to take those 3 who have lived separate lives and put them in a house and go, now we all get along. Yeah. Like, we didn't. Yikes. We did not all the time. That's hard. But having kids of your own, I don't know. I get a lot of pressure to answer my own question. Yeah. I get a lot of pressure from family and work and really just anybody, When are you gonna put a ring on it? When are you gonna have a baby? And I'm like, I don't know. When it's the right time, I guess, to your point, like it just, I don't know when is the right time. I just know it's not right now.
You'll know. I feel like
so. I hope. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If now's the right time, then fuck.
Then I missed it. Then I missed
it. That ship has sailed.
And it's all downhill from here. I don't know. I think in my personal case, most of like that to-do list is like career based, ambition. It's like I don't really have a very steady foundation, or like I'm currently like looking to relocate within the next year or 2 and looking to grow and stand up and step away from full-time work. Like there's all these objectives that are on my to-do list. Yeah. And having a kid's way down the list. Yeah. But I do want to do it. It's just not priority number 1.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, like I definitely like I don't want to have a kid before I move out of here. Like, I've lived in, Tennessee pretty much my whole life, except for like, a handful of years here and there. Yeah. But this isn't where I want to like raise my kids.
Raise kids.
Yeah.
See, I almost have like the opposite experience where it's like, I personally want to leave for a while. Yeah. But something in me does like the idea of eventually coming back and slowing down and raising a family. And that could be at like the grandkids level, that doesn't necessarily mean don't have a kid until I move back home and I'm gone for 10 years. I don't have a timeline for it. But when I think about relocating and living in a bigger area, that almost incentivizes me to wait and not have the kids. Whereas like coming back here or still being here after some time would represent like a slower paced life that maybe allows for more time with the kids. I don't know. I think about like Jim Gaffigan. We mentioned him earlier. He has like 5 or 7 kids or something, and they live in like a tiny apartment in like Midtown Manhattan. I don't like that.
No,
I can't fathom the idea of it.
I can't even fathom the idea of like 6 or 7 kids. Like,
on a farm with hundreds of acres.
I max out at like 2 or 3. I think 2. Like 2 is good.
I
would
3,
have 2 kids,
1 of each. Yeah, that's what I said. 3, 1 of each. Yeah. I think 2 is good, and I think like 1 boy, 1 girl. Yeah. And I know how your brain like associates it with dynamics, so like when I think of like 2 kids, older sister, younger brother. I think about my cousins on my mom's side, and my female cousin is early 30s, and her brother is like early 20s. Right. So there's like a pretty substantial gap. From what I know about that relationship, I like that idea. I like that setup. But then it's like I also know situations where the sister is older and it was a nightmare for the brother. You know, like you just never know. Yeah. It's very family specific. So you're not doing 10 kids. You're not doing cheaper by the dozen or anything.
No. Yeah, two would be good. I don't want to put another middle child out in the world. So I think I'd stick with 2.
That's a good move. Middle child is rough.
Yeah. You're telling me.
I went from only child to middle child, so it's quite a leap. You know, it's quite a fall from grace. But I do know we know one family that just like from a past life of when I was a kid, I know a family that they have. I believe they're up to 8, and it's one of those things. It's like every time we go check social media and stuff, they might have another one. Yeah, and they range from the oldest one is probably 26, and the youngest one I bet is 4 or something like that.
That is way too much age gap.
I agree.
For like
I agree.
Siblings, like, oh, this is my little brother. Right. He's 4 and I'm 30 years old. Like
it's a choice. I think that's a military family also, and you see that a lot more in that. And I think obviously it's their values, it's their life. They're welcome to do whatever they want. And the one thing I will say is I think a lot of like the knee-jerk reaction concerns about a house like that is some kids slipping through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, you get into a cheaper by the dozen situation.
Right. Kids don't get the attention they need.
Losing his frog in the eggs or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, 8 is a lot for sure. What I will say is that family in particular, I see no evidence of that. I think all the kids are loved. They all, and a lot of it's social media, so they take happy little pictures and shit. Yeah. But from the outside looking in, they seem to be pretty healthy, and I was pretty close friends with the oldest one when I was a kid, and I think he turned out really great. So, I think they're doing it well, but the idea of it just scares the shit out of me. And also this idea that like your 26-year-old is maybe having a kid right now, and your oldest is 4. So your grandson and your youngest son are 4 years apart.
That's crazy.
That creates some weird dynamics. And also, like, let's just imagine all 8 of them have 1 kid. Let's just say they have 2. You have 16 grandkids every Christmas.
That's a big family.
That's a big family. I know there's another family I know who has the parents are much older now. They have 3 kids, and those 3 kids have between 2 and 4 each of them. Yeah. And it's like, even with just 3 kids, now you have like 12 fucking grandkids. Like it's a lot. That's a lot coming at you. And the idea that you do that while living in a big city.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's
I don't even really like the idea of living in a big city. Like, I like staying in big cities, like visiting, getting a hotel or Airbnb or whatever, staying a week or something.
I do too.
I think I would maybe do it for like a year, like move to some big city for like 1 year, just to do it. Yeah. But I'm definitely like a smaller area kind of like I like big city adjacent. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be in a small town. Like, where I live right now is, I'm in the countryside.
You're in the boonies.
Yeah, I'm literally in the boonies. Yeah. Like, there's a restaurant called The Boonies, 2 minutes from my house.
Yes, there is. And it's delicious.
It is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
But I want to live in a quieter part, like in a cool city that's outside of a big city. Yeah. Like in a cool neighborhood. I don't like, I don't know. I can't do the super busy hustle and bustle. Yeah. It's
like a midtown apartment, like a penthouse apartment.
Oh my God.
That's a lot to me.
No.
It's overstimulating. Yeah. I don't know. Does New York call to you at all? Did you ever have a moment where you're like, I think I'll move to New York or LA or like Chicago? I know you love Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's cool. I would not want to live there. It is more just that kind of like, I really liked visiting. It was cool to go to. I did really like LA when I was there.
I did too.
Yeah, I did too. LA was really cool.
Very unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest city that I was like, I could see myself living here. But I don't think I could ever move there.
I feel like with any city that big, it's actually so many small things in one that it's like, you can't tell me there's not some part of LA that would make you very happy to be there. Yeah. It's just so big, you know. I mean, it might not be fucking South Central or whatever, but like you would never go there if you live there. Yeah. You know.
I feel like it's also built differently than a lot of other cities where LA does very, very much feel like a lot of smaller pockets. Yeah. Just like a bunch of smaller areas that make LA. Whereas I know, you know, obviously bigger cities are that same way where they have, you know, different suburbs and different areas. But I don't know, bigger cities do just kind of feel a little more congested. Oh, and it's like what you see is what you get.
LA's a little more spread out too. Yeah, like it covers a lot more ground than some major cities. I think on a much smaller level of what we're talking about, I just spent a little time in Chattanooga and my grandma had been there on like some school trip back in the 60s or whatever. Yeah. And so that was like her idea of what Chattanooga is. And they just like went to a museum or something. Yeah. So then when she came down to see Dale Jones, I was like, well, we could show her some stuff. You know, I'd gotten a car wreck or whatever, but I was like, we'll take her to the aquarium. And the next morning I took her up to the River Arts District. Have you ever been there? Yeah. It's a beautiful area of Chattanooga, and it's like right on the river, and it's this like old kind of like, you know, bohemian architecture, and they have the coffee roastery where the espresso that we're drinking comes from, sandwich shops, just like a sweet little almost like European town. It's very small, it's like 2-3 square blocks, but it's in Chattanooga. Then there's parts of Chattanooga where you could drive for 5 minutes and not see English. It's all Spanish, you know, like on even that small of a level. Cities are diverse. Where you and I live, it ain't. No. Like it just ain't. And I don't know what other word to use. Like that, you know, this end of Bristol's pretty much the fucking same as the other end of Bristol. Yeah. It's that small. And I think for people like us, and this is projection maybe, but I think for people like us, that gets we plateau. Yeah. It's the same as your job thing. You just get bored. Like no new experiences, no challenging thoughts or ideas, no new flavors. Like there's nothing that bothers me more than when I'm on the road and I wind up having to eat something I can get anywhere else. Yeah. You know, like anywhere I'm at, I'm like, I want just things I can't taste at home. I want kebabs. I want Palestinian food. I want Ethiopian. I want these things that you can't find around here. Yeah.
Or if you can find it, it's just not good.
Yeah. No, not good. Not good. I even have like a business card on my fridge downstairs. Me and my buddy Justin went to DC earlier in the year for some shows, and they have this like late night, it might even be 24 hours or like 4 a.m. or something, kebab place called Kebab Palace. The diciest, sketchiest place you'll ever go. Yeah. The most amazing thing. Like the idea that at 3 a.m. we could go get shawarma is mind blowing to somebody who lives in a town where McDonald's isn't even open after 10.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's the hardest thing for me right now. Is I'm not like a night owl by any means. Like I'm definitely like I'm more of a morning person, but like you can't go out past 9 p.m. and find anything worth eating or unless you're going to a bar, and even then now they close at what, like midnight or 1 a.m. or something.
They just passed the new thing. 1.
Yeah, and it's
last call's at 1.
Yeah, next year will probably be midnight. The year after that will probably go down to 11. Like
they roll the sidewalks up at 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like finding a restaurant that's open past 10 p.m. Right. And I'm also the type of person where it's like if a restaurant closes at 10, I'm not rolling in there at 9:15.
Nope.
Like if I'm placing a to-go order, even like I have to call at least an hour before close. Yeah. I'm not calling or placing an order, 45 minutes, 30 minutes before they close. Like, so most places close at 10, 11 if it's Friday or Saturday. Ooh,
late night.
Yeah. Right. So, I also have a pretty screwed up, like, I guess food rhythm, whatever you want to call it, appetite. Too. So like, I don't eat breakfast until like 10:30. Yep. Lunch is like between like around 2. Yeah. So by the time it's dinner time, it's getting to that 8 or 9 p.m. and it's like, okay, like I'm either going to spend a few hours cooking timing. That's
exactly. Yeah. Comedy's the same way. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if I'm on the road, like let's say I'm doing like Chattanooga or Charlotte or something, and I'm by myself, my schedule is probably I will hit the road around noon. I will roll into town around 4. I don't want to eat before the show. No. So I'm not eating till 11. This is my first meal of the day sometimes, besides coffee and maybe a sandwich or something, like 11 p.m. And then you're up till 4. Yeah, like you get in that rhythm where it's like this idea that, now when I'm home, that's another thing that I think maybe accentuates this for me is like I get little tastes of it. Yeah. On the weekends and shit. I'm in Raleigh or Charlotte or Chattanooga or Nashville, and it's like, oh man, there's some great ramen at 3 a.m. Yeah. Then I come back here Monday to Thursday, and I'm like, fuck, you know.
You can't really get ramen anywhere here.
Not good ramen. No, not here. I mean, there's some places that like for here. Of it all, I would choose here or there. Yeah. But I'm not going out of my way for it. No. There is a new place. This is super niche to anybody listening, but there's a new place in the Johnson City Mall that I've heard is actually pretty good. Really? I think it's a sushi and ramen place, yeah. And I've heard it's pretty decent. It's not in the food court. It's like separate over on the
I think I've heard
it's downstairs.
Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty good. And I like stuff like that excites me, but also like I'm not in a huge rush to go try a new ramen shop in the mall.
I'm not in a huge rush to try anything new. Right? Like I'm at the point where it's like something opens and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna give it some time before I like.
I also really like experiences around food and stuff too. Like there's a place in maybe like Sevierville or Kodak, somewhere right outside of Gatlinburg. It's called English Mountain Trout Farm. Have you heard of this place?
No.
So Haley and I went 2 years ago around the holidays. We were staying in the cabin, and I think we may try to go and get in this year. And this may separate you and I because this is quite it's unique for sure. And I honestly had mixed feelings going into it. But they have basically a stocked pond on the property, and they give you your own rod and reel, and you drop catch the fish, and then they fillet it, and then they cook it for you, and then you eat it.
It's like the country version of like Korean barbecue.
It is.
Nice.
It's redneck barbecue. I have so many mixed feelings about it. You know, like I part of me loves the like almost like farm to table, or I guess pond to table thing of it. I like that I know exactly where that fish came from. What I don't like is that I just paid you money to put more fish in this swimming pool.
Yeah.
For me to then catch and feel like I caught a fish. Like the false, I don't know, the bravado in it maybe, or something like, oh, look at me. The caveman-esque nature of it, of like, me catch fish, you cook, I eat. Like,
but in reality, it's all fake.
It's all, much. Yes. Like, it's fugazi. It's that, like, they make you think you're doing the thing. You're kind of, but I do almost prefer it to walk into Food City, get a white styrofoam tray with a piece of fish on it that I have no fucking idea where that came from or what's in it. You know, it's like, it's a very conflicting experience. I will say people there were wonderful. The experience itself wasn't like corny or kitschy at all. Yeah. It didn't feel that, they're not like a cartoon redneck holding the thing.
Right.
It wasn't really that. They're pretty honest about who they are and what they do, and it was fucking delicious. Like, it was delicious. I think if you don't have an experience with like hunting or fishing, though, that might bother you.
I've gone fishing once.
Okay.
When I was 5.
Was it the little game with the fish where they open their mouth and you drop the
No, it was at a friend's birthday party. And
who is this friend? Was he a park ranger? Why are you fishing at a kid's birthday?
It was some girl actually that we who lived in our apartment complex when we lived in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
And it was her birthday, and we went down to some pond, and they had cake and all this stuff, and they're like, all right, we're going fishing. Everyone take turns. Wow. And it was my turn up. Little 5-year-old me. I remember I caught like. At the time, it was a huge fish.
Wow.
But it was probably like something like that.
Yeah.
It's that big, just some little guy.
Now,
I couldn't even tell you what fish it was.
Well, when you're 5, any fish is like, I fucking caught that thing?
Yeah. I thought, I was like, oh, this is fishing. You throw a line out and you get a fish.
Easy.
But it's really not like that. Most of fishing is waiting.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
Patience is a necessary skill that I am severely lacking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went quite a bit growing up. I went with my grandpa a lot, and then I went with a family friend of ours who has since passed away, but was always really good to me. And I spent a lot of time with him, especially in like my teenage years when I started driving. I would go hang out at this campground he lived in, and we would go fishing, and he would make us cheeseburgers, like a really cool, like adult, young teenager friendship. You know what I mean? Like there was never anything weird or off color about it. He was just like, he had kids around my age, and they were a little bit older, so they had kind of moved on, and I was almost like his third kid in a way. Yeah. But I just never loved it. I just never gravitated towards the idea of fishing it. I love like eating it, and I like the idea of like going out, getting your home food, cleaning it and stuff. And I went hunting. I've killed 2 deer in my life, but I don't know. There is some level of, and maybe it's like a privilege of living in this time where you don't have to do that. Yeah. You know, I can go to the supermarket and get food. I'm torn. I'm really torn on the topic. Like, and I think the hunting, unlike the trout farm thing, is like, it didn't feel very manufactured. Like, we went out and really did the thing and caught the wild animal and all that stuff. So that's a little different. But like dropping a piece of bread into a pool and a fish bites it, and then some guy cooks it. Yeah. I don't love it.
It kind of feel like when you go to like a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, pick out your lobster."
Yes, a little bit of like, those guys can't fight back a little, you know,
right.
like
it'd be like, it's like one step further. Like if you went to the restaurant and you ordered lobster and they're like, "All right, reach in and grab it," you know, like
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's basically if they handed you a pole and were like, "Sink this down and whatever grabs it's what you'll eat." Yeah, it's interesting, and I hope this doesn't sound like I don't want to put that business on blast or anything. I really enjoyed it, and I really like the experience of it. But the reason I even bring any of that up is that I feel very much that around here, in probably any small town, dining is not really an experience. It's almost like a to-do thing. We got to eat dinner. Where should we go? Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, it's consistent. Eat a few rolls, eat a steak, come home, and then same shit next Friday. Yeah. I'm sure when you were in Chicago, I think you and I even privately talked about like some of the meals and stuff that you had there. It's like it's an event to go out. I don't think it's like that around here.
And a lot of people, what I don't understand is so many people love going to the same place they always go to.
Oh yeah.
Like I understand having like this is my go-to spot, and like when I'm feeling like it, I love popping in there, but like people who have like, this is where we go. Like we as a family, we go to this restaurant every Thursday. Every Thursday, we order the same thing.
We go to Burger King.
We ask for the same server. Like it's like that. Yeah, that's a life that I feel like I've always kind of tried to avoid. Yeah, and part of that probably does come from, you know, I did work at McDonald's for a while, and so I saw, you know, what a dedicated regular looks like. Especially,
is there anything
like
sadder than a dedicated McDonald's regular? Monday John's here for his Big Mac.
And like honestly, like the morning regulars were not as sad as like the late night or like midday regulars. Where it's like morning. There was like some, you know, some sweet ones where it's like, you know, a group of old men who would go there every morning at like 6 or 7 in the morning and just like hang out, and like they've been friends forever. And it's like, okay,
they're all veterans or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Or
it's
Bible
like,
study.
I'm glad they're doing something. I'm glad they're being social at least. But then there's others where it's like this is just where they go. Like I've seen you 3 times today. I saw you at breakfast. I saw you at lunch, and now you're eating dinner here with your kids. It's like that's when it's like makes me like kind of sad.
It's rough. Yeah. Starbucks was a weird one too, because I feel like we get all spectrums of regulars. Like there was a dude at our store. I just saw him the other day too, and I can't remember his name. Do you remember this guy? He would come in and he would work for hours at a time, always in the corner at the same table. Usually just a black coffee, just a venti black coffee is all he would drink, and he'd sit there and work on his laptop.
That I feel like I've forgotten all of the
Really?
regulars, except for some
stick out.
Yeah,
I will say seeing him recently is kind of what brings him to my memory. You know, like I saw him in public and was like, where I know him. But then there's guys like that I know. I had a guy that was a regular of ours at Starbucks. His name was Bill. Yeah. No way he's listening to this, so I'll just say his name was actually Bill. And he's a sweet older guy, and he drove a little Jeep and stuff, and he'd be through our drive-through almost every day. And the reason I would remember him is, one, because he was very kind, and I saw him almost every day. But his order was unique. He would do a black coffee, but he would do the old-fashioned donut that we sold at Starbucks. And it wasn't black coffee. That's a lie. It was a hot mocha, an old-fashioned donut. And that item is never ordered. Yeah. So that's why he stuck out to me. Anyways, cut to maybe 2-3 years later, I was working at the job I'm at now, but I was down in the drive-thru one day. and I was filling in for a teller or something. And he pulled up in his Jeep. I didn't even know he had an account with us.
Yeah.
But he pulled up and he was drinking a Starbucks cup and not eating a donut.
Yeah.
So, and I knew he had no idea who I was, but just to kind of fuck with him, I was like, got Starbucks, huh? And he was like, yeah, whatever. And like took a drink. Yeah. And then he like kind of just tried to move on from it. And I was like, you wouldn't happen to be drinking a grande hot mocha with no whip, would you? And he was like, that's exactly what I'm drinking. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a good drink. And like just kind of played it cool. And you could tell then he's like, do I know this guy? And then like a minute later, as I'm like counting his money or something, I was just like, no old fashioned donut today. And he was like, I just ate one. Yes. Yeah. How do you know that? Like, he's like, are you watching me? And so then I like, blew the cover and was like, no, I used to work there. Yeah, I remember that was your order. You're always very nice or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. Something about that routine kind of like bores me too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
The idea that every day I would get the same drink and the same thing, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't even do it with, I have an espresso machine here in the house, and like sometimes with guests, like we made an Americano for us today, or I have different coffee things. Like if 2 days in a row I drink just an espresso shot from my machine, I'm like, oh God, I gotta go to a 7 Brew or something. Like I gotta switch that up because I get so bored. What is that in us that we just can't be?
I don't know. I kind of, it's weird for me because I often like romanticize the idea of a routine.
Oh yeah.
Like there's something about like a routine that I love the idea of it. But when I actually try to play it out, I get bored immediately. Like the idea of being like, oh, like I would love nothing more than to wake up at the same time every day, make a cup of coffee, I drink it, like reading the newspaper or something, I go to work, do my thing, I eat the same thing for lunch every day, like just this like simple like life. The idea of it to me sounds for some reason so satisfying, and like that sounds nice.
It doesn't sound like a trap to you? It doesn't scare you at all? I think it scares me.
I think I don't know. Maybe it's just I've never really had like a strong routine in my life. I've never been in that position.
That's true.
Where like this every day was the same, or I had a consistent like, oh, I do this all the time. So it's definitely a romanticized idea. It's a dream, but it's a dream that I don't want, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh no, that makes sense. Like I think, and I may have told you this, I think last time you were on, but where I design the posts and stuff for our social media at work, I have to design things when we celebrate like an anniversary with an employee. And we had one recently that was 50 years with the company. Exactly. I mean, while I'm sitting there typing it, I literally almost have a panic attack mentally because I'm like, like the idea of being in this office. And this is, again, no shame, no judgment to her. She seems to be very happy and has been very successful with the company. Like, all of her boxes in life seem to be checked. But for me personally, the idea that I would be in this building, let alone this office, for more than, a few years is like, I mean, I can't, it made me so uneasy. Yeah. But her, and I know a lot of people like this, that like find comfort in it. Yeah. The lack of change is comforting to some people. You and I'm almost like when there's not change is when I'm uncomfortable.
I hate it. I hate doing
being comfortable is so uncomfortable to me. I don't think that keeps us motivated, but maybe we are missing out on something from it too.
Well, I think for me, it's definitely like, like I said, I romanticize it, and like the idea of is like, man, like wouldn't that be the life if I wanted that? It's like,
an option.
It's like I wish that I could be happy doing something that simple. True. It's kind of like the ignorance is bliss. It's like, wouldn't it be great if I was happy just doing like simple stuff, and I didn't always want.
Wouldn't it be great if I was happy?
Stop right there. Yeah,
stop the tapes.
That'd be great if I was happy.
And honestly, I think that is part of this discussion too, and that like this particular person has found a way to be satisfied with just what she has. And I'm almost envious of that. Not necessarily the lifestyle, but that she reached her milestone and didn't immediately place another goal 100 yards out. Like, it gets a little exhausting when I think one that comes up on this show a lot is like professionally, because I talk to business owners or comics, and you know, some of them it's like, if comics, a lot of times it's like, if I make $1 from telling jokes, that's it. Or if I sell out one show headlining, that's it. Or we all have like our big goals in life. The idea that you've passed them all, and that, at least from the outside looking in, you don't have any major life changes coming up.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Something in me doesn't resonate with that at all. I want to constantly be like reinventing myself and learning new things. But I think it's a comfort. Like I have a friend who, he's in his early 20s. He lives at home with his parents, which is fine. A lot of people do. I did until 23. And he's about there. You know, he lives at home. He is currently employed by the school system that he came up through. And his plan is that when his parents either move out or pass away or something, that he'll inherit that same home and then he'll die there. So his entire life has two settings, home and school. And they've been the same for all 20-something years. There is, to me, what I would consider like this level of oddity in that I can't relate to at all. For him, it's comfort. Mm-hmm. It's literally comfort. I've been in the same two buildings 24 hours a day my entire life. I think you and I look at that as restrictive. Yeah. But there's a pretty good chance that something's wrong in us.
Probably,
I don't think it's him on this one. You know, I think that is comforting. You and I just can't experience it.
I don't like being comfortable.
I don't either.
Physically, I love being comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I love nice bed. Just got some new sheets.
Ooh, what'd you get? Thread count?
No fucking clue. Do you look at that?
What
Does
color
anyone
are they?
look? They're green.
Oh, I got green ones. That's nice. I like a green sheet. No, I mean, I have no awareness. I'm like, they silk? I don't even know what that means.
I touch them.
You touch them and they feel nice.
That feels good. I'll sleep on that.
Yeah. How many pillows you keep on your bed, Silas?
4. So I have a queen, you know.
What's her name? That's what you're getting on this show, folks. If you stuck around for the 2 hours, you're in for the good jokes.
I like 2 on each side.
Yeah.
You know, so I've got a big pillow in the back on both sides, and then a smaller pillow in front of
Smaller pillow. No throws.
That's it.
No throws.
Throw them away. That's what I always say.
Hey, again, you made it, folks.
If you're listening right now, thank God.
You made it to the hot section of the show. I like a throw. I like a throw pillow. I have too many pillows on my bed as is. Yeah. But I like to have a throw around. It's so versatile. If I need to prop up my phone on it, I can do that. If I need a little more height, I can do that. If I have a bad knee, I can elevate it. You know, like I like to have a throw around.
See, that's what my secondary pillow acts as. Okay. The smaller pillow in front, you know, usually it's head support.
You ever go pillow between the knees on your side? Like an old man?
I used to.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, those days are over.
It's not bad. I kind of like it. Why are the days over for you? Why are you beyond knee pillows?
I don't know. It's like I just haven't felt the need, I guess. Like
need?
Yeah.
God.
This is hard.
Now we're cooking
stuff.
It took us 2 hours, but we are cooking.
Now this is a comedy pod.
This is how you get the award ceremonies right here. Yeah, the podcast awards. What about throw blankets? You go throw blankets or you?
See, I keep it very simple. I have one blanket on my bed. Yeah. I have one blanket, no top sheet.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No sheet.
I have the fitted. The bottom sheet.
No loose.
No top sheet.
Haley tucks it in.
Oh God.
This has been there's really 2 or 3 major points of contention throughout our relationship. Number one is the second I get in your bed, I am using both of my feet and with all my might, I am ripping that fucking sheet out.
I cannot stand feeling constrained in my bed. I want to be able to roll. I want to be able to move.
Foot prison, they call it, and I don't like being in prison. So that's number one. Number 2 is her toilet paper is on the wrong way. It's backwards.
I gotta go.
It's wrong. It's awful. And every time I'm over there, I fix it. And especially if her family comes over when I'm not there or something, it'll be switched back.
Let's get this clear.
Okay.
You've said it's wrong.
I have.
Said it's backwards. You've said it's on the wrong way.
So what way
is that for you?
For me, I want the roll to be facing in the way that the accessible piece is in the front.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Right. Her family, across the board, the piece that's accessible is between the roll and the wall.
Yeah. The only now I will say the only time I've ever considered that acceptable is if you have cats.
Because they can't unroll it.
Yeah, cats love to mess with toilet paper rolls.
Sure.
If you don't have cats, there's no reason.
They have one small dog in this family, so it's not a cat thing. They've never had cats. Haley's allergic to cats.
Yeah.
There literally can't even be a cat in the home, and she's got it on cat mode. Every fucking time she's got the toilet paper on cat mode, and it pisses me off. Like, when I go to her family's house, just out of spite, I'll flip it. And then her mom will text and be like, tell him to quit fucking flip. And I'm like, but you guys are just wrong.
You can't get any, there's no leverage. You can't pull off a few squares from the back.
You can't.
It's just not.
And you can't see your work. You got to be able to track it as it's moving. And if it, God forbid, it rolls up a little too far when it's facing the wall.
Reaching under
you got to reach under or over.
Oh, I'm not reaching over.
You got to... You got to scramble your fingers a little to get it started.
No, that's not happening.
It's not good. It's like, it's almost like, people who have rolls of tape and they don't make the little fold on the end. And then you're like, where's it start? Where's the tape?
You just put it back on. We're starting from square one at this point.
I'm starting from square. And if it oh my God, if it's clear tape, we're going to be here all morning.
It's game over.
We're going to be here all day. Yeah, it is funny. Like,
so what else do you guys argue about?
It gets worse from there. What else do we argue about? We argue about we argue about like rolls in the generally
like dinner rolls.
Yes, like yeast versus yes.
I'm a Hawaiian roll.
King's Hawaiian. King. No, one thing that comes up with us a lot is like generally I do the cooking for us, and that is, and she would agree with this because she cannot and it should not. It's better this way, and I enjoy it. I don't mind it. One thing that's come up with us before is like once every, 6 months or something, I'll go, listen, I'm overwhelmed with whatever's going on in life externally. If you could just take care of dinner, please. We're there now, but in the early days, her reaction to that was that she would ask me what she should go to the store and get for me to then make dinner.
Right.
She basically was asking me for a grocery list to then do all the prepping and cooking, or like we've gotten there now to where she knows that means just pick something up. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
But that was an early on thing where it's like, if I say you take care of dinner, that doesn't mean, well, what should I do? Like, no, we're already off on the wrong foot here.
Yeah.
But a lot of it for her is she is so sweet and she's so concerned with like my feelings and everyone else's feelings. She just doesn't want to make a decision ever on anything. And like my grandma is the most extreme version of that. And this weekend in Chattanooga, they were driving down together. So there were several decisions that they had to mutually make. Yeah. They just fucking didn't make a decision.
There's a guess we're not fucking eating.
I guess we're not eating. I don't know, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
For hours. That's exhausting to me.
Yeah.
That's
I kind of suffer from the same thing where like I have a hard time making decisions because I do I like to take everybody's opinions into consideration, and I've always been a very go with the flow kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a super like opinionated person when it comes to like, oh, like, what do you want to do? Or like, I love just like riding the wave.
Yeah.
And that's something I've really been trying to like get better at, is like just put my foot down and just be like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Well, I was going to say, you and I have even ran into this because sometimes we're hanging out. What do we do? Like last time we wound up throwing axes.
Yeah.
Neither one of us has a vested interest.
That was part of my journey.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like I want to hang out. We could.
Here's what we're doing.
We could sit around. We could, we could go get dinner. Get some drinks or whatever. I was like, I want to do something new. I've never thrown an axe before.
We did.
We threw axe.
We threw axe, and boy, I tell you, we are not naturals.
No,
we are not natural axe throwers. No. It sounds out. I mean. Yeah, like I
plateaued. That's for sure.
About 5 minutes in, we plateaued. Yeah. Well, it's that thing too where they're like, "How long do you want?" Yeah. And we're like, "I don't know."
What did you do? 20 minutes or 20 or 30?
Maybe 30. I think.
Like that. Yeah.
About minute 10, we were like, "I think I see what this is."
Yeah.
I think I see what axe throwing.
Yeah, there was no need to do 20 more minutes after that. We kind of got it.
We got the gist of it.
Yeah.
We did not get better at it at any point.
No.
But we did kind of see what it's all about.
Like, oh, this is what it is.
Yeah. And I think, there's leagues out there. So clearly somebody really enjoys the art of it. I, however, did not. And I think the most enjoyment that I had with that experience was the fact that both of us were having a very similar experience. We both were like, yeah, this shit is lame. A little bit
God, could you imagine if we went and did that and I was just having a fucking blast? Like I was tossing the axes. I was so into it. I was like, isn't this fun? And I was like getting really good at it. Yeah. And I was like, do you want to get more time? Yeah. Like I'm like go up to the bar. I'm like, hey, can we get 30 more minutes on lane 4?
I did send you like a week later. I saw that same place posted. It was like taking signups now for a tournament. And I was like, we could do it, man. We could fucking get really invested. I mean, I think, to each their own for sure. But it is kind of fun sometimes to do something and realize you don't like it. Because we're so, I think just as humans, and especially like in America, I think we're so used to all the time just doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
What makes us happy. And I think about this with comedy all the time, where it's like, not every joke is for you. But we live in this world where it's like, if I disagree with one thing you say in 10 minutes, I'm going to actively try to not enjoy you for the rest of the time after that.
Exactly.
That's fucking crazy. And crowds do it all the time, where it's like the joke 2 minutes in, I just couldn't quite dig out of. When I know that back 8 is something that they all would have laughed at because it's similar to the first joke that they loved or whatever.
Yeah, you could kill for like 10 minutes, but then you say one thing that they think is like a little too far or that they just don't really get. And then after that, it's just
no getting them back.
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's over.
And sometimes it's not even something you say. Sometimes it's like a waiter dropped a glass.
And then it's just the whole vibe.
The door opened and light came in and people got distracted and you'll never get them back. That shit happens all the time. It's difficult, but I think comedy for me a lot of times becomes like a metaphor for like this little microcosm of life in itself. And I do think that's a broader point of like, it doesn't take much for people to get totally disinterested in you. Like that also kind of reinforces the views and stuff we were talking about earlier of like, my goal for this show is just to do it because I like doing it. But I really don't get as wrapped up in like, nobody's watching.
Right. You're like, oh, how well did this video do? You're like,
I check. I mean, I'm interested in the data.
Yeah, you want to know.
I'm interested in the data and I like to spot patterns with guests and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as like, what can I do to increase engagement? I think I'll do a certain amount of it. But it's in pursuit of making this show as good as it can be, not bringing a new audience. We even talked about like the new camera setup and stuff. And I don't know. I don't have a lot of feedback from folks yet. There's only one episode out in the new format. So I don't have a lot of feedback. But I do think for me personally, I like it. And so that's probably just what it's going to do,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a project right now outside of work or something that you're like finding that inspiration for? Or are you kind of still just like...
I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
That's
a weird place to be.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I'm also like coming off of just like working all the time. And only this year is like the first time in almost a decade where I'm not just spending all of my time on work.
Yeah.
So
and a year is both a really long time and not really a long time.
Oh yeah, like, not because like a good portion of that year I was looking for a job. And just like trying different stuff out and doing this and that. So it's like I've only just over the past few months been in a place where it's like, okay, like I'm ready to find my next thing, like figure out my next passion or whatever my next big move is, like I'm looking for it right now.
Well, I think that's a weird place to be when you're someone who's used to always having that back burner project, but it's also maybe the most exciting.
Oh yeah, I can do anything. I can do whatever I want.
And you're not tied to this idea that's already there. It's like you're just open to it. I wonder, does it ever get for you to a place where you stop looking and then it knocks, or is it more like you have to actively find your next move?
I mean, I've always lived my life in a very like opportunist way. I'm never looking, but always listening.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm always open to whatever the next thing
You're like
comes
Stevie
up.
Wonder. Like you can't see, but you can hear pretty good.
Oh yeah. I can hear those keys.
Yeah, you're very superstitious.
I'm always looking for whatever's coming.
Right.
And I feel like anytime I'm looking for something, I'm not going to be able to find it.
Yes. Yeah. This is maybe like, again, kind of like a hyper focused version of it, but in stand up, a lot of times, anytime I'm like, God, I have to write a joke about this thing. As soon as I stop trying so hard or even just like opportunities, like, you know, trying to break into new cities or make new connections. As soon as I go, you know what? Fuck all that.
Yeah.
And I just let go a little bit. Usually something's like, hello, like that's just my life experience. I don't think it's probably not good to just sit and wait on life to happen.
Yeah.
There's extremes. But in your case, I mean, do you get, is there any anxiety in where you're at now of like, I gotta find this thing? Is there time ticking in your head?
A little bit. It's not really time ticking, but it's more just like, it's more of like, getting kind of antsy. I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to pour my brain into some side project or something I'm interested in. And I'm trying to start, I want to write like a screenplay or maybe not a screenplay specifically, but I want to write a story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a cool thing to do. I have probably in the last, like, you know, since I'm maybe 12 or 13, I bet I've started 10 movies, 12 books, 25 sketches, you know, like all this stuff. In the last year or so, though, I've been pretty seriously playing around with a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
And it is that thing for me where it's like, I'll write, you know, chapters of this thing or ideas for this sketch. Even just the other day, I was talking to my friend Trav about this idea that a sketch I want to shoot that I think might resonate and might be funny. But I'm not in a huge hurry to do it at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think, again, with the like, you'll know when you'll know kind of thing of like, as soon as I feel that push, I'll follow it.
Yeah.
But until then, I don't know. I mean, I think the anxiety you're talking about of like, I struggle with not just jumping into anything when you feel like jumping. Yeah. Because if it's not the right thing, you're wasting your time.
I've done that so much. And I've had to give myself a rule of, cause I'll get like hyper fixated on an interest.
Sure.
Where like, I think this is like the coolest idea. I'm like, I want to do this. Yeah. And I'll be like, you know, watching videos and researching everything about it. And in the past, it's been very easy for me to just start spending money on it, where I'm buying the tools or I'm like, I start investing in this idea.
Yeah. And like an egg salad cart.
Yeah. Like an egg salad cart or just any random business idea or interest, or like if I'm like, I think I'm going to start playing this instrument, or like, I'm going to start doing this thing. And then I spend a bunch of money on it and it doesn't, I forget about it or I move on at some point. So now I have a rule where if I come up with an idea that I really want to do and I feel the need to jump into it, I write it down and I do my research. I watch videos. I don't spend any money. If I'm still thinking of that same idea and like still interested in it, 2 weeks to a month after I initially had that idea, then okay, let's start making some moves.
Yeah, that's a good. I think having a filtration system like that is important. That way, you're not like investing into too many things.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, I used to that hyperfixation used to go to like whatever video game or toy that I would want. Like a new video game would be coming out that I was like suddenly obsessed with. Yeah. I'd be watching the trailers for the game. I'd be reading like reviews and like doing all these things.
I still do it.
I remember there was one point where there was some toy. I wanted it so bad that I sat down with like my headphones on, listening to like the video game soundtrack of the toy that it was from and looking at a picture of the toy. Yeah. And I was just daydreaming about like what I would do if I had that.
One day I'm going to get that little John Cena action figure and I'm going to wrestle my ass off. Yeah, that kind of takes us back to what we originally talked about of like being younger and what you're hyper fixating on at that age is so funny.
Yeah, it's like, I just wanted this toy.
Yeah.
I wanted some Heelys.
Like,
just
now
like little
it's different.
Shit.
Now it's like business ideas
it's like,
or creative outlets.
Fucking a ramen store that sells, Zen packs. Like, just like that's a fake
niche
idea. Don't worry.
That's not bad. Honestly, you better patent that quick because someone's gonna
be like, wait, ramen and I can get my nicotine buzz on.
Yeah.
Like,
put a couple pouches in the broth.
What happened to hookah? We mentioned that earlier.
What happened to hookah?
It was huge. Like, people loved hookah. They thought it was the coolest thing. We had hookah lounges, hookah bars.
Yeah.
Did the hookah lounge in town, did that close? Like,
I think so.
It had to.
I think so.
That was hot. That was red hot for like a couple years. And then never
hookah was red hot for a couple of years. Yeah. It was, and I'll be honest with you, I never got it. I never was like, you know what we need to do is go sit around some oregano and fucking, load up a little lavender and have a good time. I mean, the idea of it is like, I understand the social aspect of it in the community, but it's also like, there's other ways to do it,
the only times I've done hookah, which is, I don't know if that's proper term. I've done hookah. I've done it maybe a few times, and every single time I've gotten sick.
Really?
So sick. Like,
well, I would imagine it's probably not good for the body.
Yeah, it is so much like nicotine that you're inhaling. Yeah. Which kids these days is probably nothing to them. They're they're slurping their geek bars all day long.
Slurping their geek bars? Sorry. Slurping their geek bars in their quarter zips, sipping matcha. They're elegant.
Talking 6-7,
Yeah. We are blending right in.
Yeah. Somebody listening to this is probably just cringing.
Yeah. Most people listening to this have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, we might be the hip ones.
We might be the hip ones, which is one of the sadder things about the conversation. Anytime you and I are the trendsetters in the room, it's not good. It's not a good room. Do you have anything that you want to promote? Do you have anything you got any big shows coming up? You want to
shows.
How about a few cliffhangers for our next episode? Let me ask you that. What's a couple things you can put out there that keeps the folks wanting more, Silas?
Oh God. Yeah, I got nothing. Maybe next time I'll have written a movie.
Okay.
Next time I'll do some jokes.
Okay. All right, we'll do a live reading.
We can just go through my notes and just read. It could be jokes. It could be
I'd rather
ideas,
die than do. I'd rather. If anyone ever found the note in my phone that is like where I think of jokes, I would go to prison first of all. But it's also just like, the idea, dude. Even an open mic, like when you really think about what an open mic is, like I was taking a shit the other day and I thought of this thing that I think is funny. Let me tell it to you 40 strangers that are being held against your will, basically.
Who did not sign up for this.
Didn't sign up for this. Most of the time, it's the only reason they're there is because they want to do the same crazy fucking thing. Like, it's mostly...
They're on next.
Comedy is weird. Like, music doesn't seem to have this, but comedy is weird where sometimes, even though I do it, and I'm so grateful for anybody who supports live comedy, please, God, go out and support the art. If I wasn't a comic, I don't know that I would ever fucking go, especially to an open mic. Like, every now and then you'll be at an open mic and there's a few people who are just hanging out watching it, and I'm like, why? Yeah. Why are you here? I just, again, God bless you. We need you. I'm so glad you do. But I just don't know if I could do it.
I don't know where they come from. I've been to so many open mics in my life. I've never been to one that I wasn't going on stage.
No, why would you? Why would you? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I had a friend who was going on stage, and I think it's just friends. Like, everyone who's there, like, they know someone who's going up, or else they wouldn't be there.
I think so, normally.
Or it's one of those situations where it's like an open mic night at a diner for some reason, and like people are just trying to eat.
They're there in spite of the comedy show.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
I do a lot of those rooms. Yeah. I hate that. There is nothing worse than like, I didn't laugh at that joke because I'm trying to enjoy this pastrami Reuben with my family. Yeah. Why are we up here? That's always, I'm like, I don't want to be here any more than you guys do. This is just my only option tonight. So here it's the best we could all do. I love to, like, Dale Jones, the guy I worked with at Chattanooga, has this thing, like, right when he's starting out, and I I mean, this isn't really a joke, so I don't think I'm giving anything away. But he's the only comic I've ever met who, when he's starting out, he goes, he starts and he's already getting laughs, and he goes, I know a lot of you paid to get in here tonight. What you don't know is you have to pay to get out. Like this idea that, no, you're fucking in for the long haul. That's so funny to me because that is kind of the vibe in the room when it's not going well. You see people going, are we allowed to just walk out? And sometimes they do. Yep. I mean, that happens. It's a weird art. But yeah.
What do you do if everyone walks out?
What do I do?
Just like anybody. Like what's do you keep telling jokes?
Some people probably would.
I would be relieved. Like the last person gets up, walks out the door. Like you keep going.
Honestly, I've never seen an entire room walk. I've seen a majority of a room walk.
Yeah.
And I've seen one not that long ago. The majority of the room walked, but it's because there was only about 10 in that room. So when like 4 or 6 of them left, it was quite damaging to the vibe of the room. There's probably nothing more brutal to watch than that. To watch a person realize that 6 of his 10 just left. Yeah. And here we are. I got 3 more minutes to do for you guys. Like that's pretty rough. That's pretty hard. I don't know. I just the idea that like you're in this place right now where you're trying to find your next big thing is to me almost more exciting than if you were like, here's what I have to promote.
Yeah.
I think as a fellow creative person, the in-between times you almost kind of look forward to in a way.
There's a cliffhanger for you. What's my next big thing?
What's the next big thing?
Find out.
What's the next big Silas thing? I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good, whatever it is. It might be an egg salad card. It might be a movie.
Laundromat.
You truly never a laundromat at one point. You never fucking know with this guy. That's for sure. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. I know you don't have socials or really anything to promote or plug, which is my favorite part about why you're here.
If you see me around, say hi.
If you see me around, say what's up. I will say I did have several people react or reach out to your last appearance and commented on some things. I think a friend of mine even brought up like your car wash stories and stuff. Like I know it as much as I complain or not complain, but like notice the lack of interaction and viewership. The ones who do watch and support, I'm very grateful for, and they know you a little bit. Yeah. Like my stepdad and mom watch it almost every episode, and they work out every day together in my mom's home gym, and they'll put it on the TV a lot of times. So I've even had conversations with my stepdad of like, yeah, I couldn't believe what, Silas was saying the other day on the pod. Like he knows you through this show, which is cool. So thanks for coming on. We'll do it again, and who knows?
Sounds
who knows
good.
What you have. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.